Inconsistent.
He gets happy. He applauds.
All right. What's your thing?
Just randomly it'll happen throughout. No, I'm joking. This guy's an idiot. Don't listen to him.
Listen, bro. It's Captain Random.
Oh, so what do you want me to call you? By your first name? I'm like Chaz.
Let me see. Sanchize. How about that one?
If you're gonna throw his last name, make sure you add the social security number.
I know.
Oh, damn.
We would need that to make the transactions.
Not for real. What you want us to call you?
Not for real. For real. Stop playing.
Because some people are like, nah, I don't want you to use my name. Use something else.
Yeah, I mean, what can I use? I didn't think of that. Should have given me a heads up.
Yeah.
Tell me at the last second. What's yours?
I just use my name.
Oh, for real?
At this point,
I'm just Jose.
Jose? That's my dad's name. It's a good
That's
name.
what we are.
No,
That's what we does. That's what we bees.
Caden is fine. I'll just use my first name. It's fine.
all right. You're lost.
What's your first name?
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
No. Caden.
Caden. Malcolm Caden. Got it.
Call me Bernie. There we go. I was going to wear my Bernie Sanders shirt today.
You should have worn
I
it.
should have worn it, bro.
All right.
The best thing to do is eventually you'll just ignore all this other shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the beginning, it's gonna be hard, but
To ignore what?
that's what she said.
All right.
It has begun.
In the beginning, it's hard.
We're here. We made it. I was waiting for this point.
Did you see the entrance of
These mushrooms make you feel
Mr. Trump?
This guy loves mushrooms.
The entrance?
I do love mushrooms.
a lot better.
Let me not have that conversation.
The UFC fight over the weekend.
No, he was there.
He was there.
You don't watch- you don't watch-
Listen to
They
him.
love him. I know they
He
love him.
came
Bro,
in
it's insane.
strong.
there he goes.
Jesus.
they love this
Hey,
guy, bro.
viejo. Aquí viene, mira.
Yeah, that was perfect.
I love the.
The timing was
Yo,
perfect.
you gotta love it.
I would have bought him being Spanish just now, bro.
Yo, that's so funny, bro. He's such a funny character.
He
Who's
is.
that? Oh gosh, this guy.
That's funny though.
What's his
All
name again?
right.
Joe Rogan, yeah.
This guy, man, changes his position.
Joe Rogan.
so many times.
I don't know. What
Has he?
What do you think he
Yes,
changed?
so
Go ahead.
consistent. No, I mean, I remember when Bernie was running. Just a lot of the policies that Bernie was on. He was like, "Yo, I'm a Bernie guy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a progressive. I like the message."
He voted for Bernie.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
so it's just like to see such a drastic change, whether he likes Dems or Republicans, it doesn't matter. I'm just talking about certain things. Just a drastic change to go from. I feel like to go from a Bernie to a Trump is really.
I mean, when I was a child, I thought like a child. Now that I'm an adult,
No, bro, this was a matter of like a year.
I'm
or
just.
two,
What
bro.
is it? What is it that you think he liked about Bernie's positions? Are you a Bernie? Are you consider yourself a Bernie guy?
everything- Who?
You?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had to, I don't know, label yourself within this.
Definitely independent. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I definitely lean more as, I guess, a progressive.
Yeah.
You know, I would consider myself a progressive.
Okay. Well, what do you think puts you in that position? Like, what kind of ideology? Like, what kind of ideas or thoughts? Or
I guess I hate the labels, especially like when people
Yeah.
say left or right or middle. You know, but I guess I lean even more left of what I consider a moderate Democrat to be. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of whether it's healthcare or whether it's just education, there's just certain things that I would go a little further than what a standard Democrat would.
like your Nancy Pelosi's?
Nah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
She's
Yeah.
like-
There's
she's
more
more of a moderate.
establishment.
Yeah.
Establishment. Democrats
Versus the Americans like us, I think.
Yeah. But seriously, I mean,
Idiot.
hey, most of these politicians, whatever side they're on, they're out of touch.
Do you find yourself in line with sort of like AOC?
I do. She's I actually do. You ever seen the Netflix documentary that she did when she first came out?
Knock Down the House or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it was a pretty good documentary.
Yeah.
I like that, but that was my introduction to her, you know, and I kind of followed her since then. I do like what she represents. She represents more the voice that I like to hear, but I wish she was a little bit stronger on the Palestine stuff as of recently. But I mean, listen, it's that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. Like they should definitely maybe wipe out that country. You think, right? Is that what you think?
Oh God, definitely not.
Nah, but she I don't know if I agree with everything about her. I'm just happy that she's there.
No, and that's fine.
It's like
right?
a weird thing that like because she's a Latina there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy she's there.
Gotcha.
Whether I agree with her or not, I'm just happy that she's there.
And that's awesome. I can respect that. You know, and
I don't think I disagree with too many of her positions. To be honest with you, I mean, I consider myself classical liberal. I guess would be the best definition.
Okay.
So that puts me to the libertarian camp.
Okay.
You know, that's what I tell everybody. I'm a libertarian, but if you took away all the parties and just like, okay, what are you defined as? I would be consider myself a classical liberal.
Gotcha.
Which most conservatives should fall into this thing, but they're not. They have ideologies that they follow.
Gotcha.
So they align more with religious ideology and stuff like that. So it kind of pulls them more to like a right wing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Because a classical liberal is basically like freedom for all. You know, whatever that means for you. You want to be gay, be gay. You want to smoke weed, smoke weed. You want a gun, get a gun. You know, you want to be a liberal, then leave this country.
You're in the wrong country.
You're in the wrong place. This is America.
So I'm just
celebrate men.
I'm just meeting you for the first time. You're a Democrat.
No, I vote Democrat, unfortunately.
But you're registered.
I'm a registered Democrat. Yeah. So, but
that's just because that's the closest to what you think.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I know what you
like,
mean.
I mean, if I could, if there was a third party, that would be something that I would entertain. You know,
have you looked into third parties?
Yeah. I mean, I was checking out Jill Stein, and I was gonna go.
I was about to ask you about the Green Party. What do you think about the Green Party?
It's okay. I mean, they're not as organized as I would like them to be. I mean, but any other third party, it really isn't. They don't have that backing that the media has, with the Democrats and the Republicans. So it's just like...
Yeah, they're very disjointed. Even, like I said, I'm a libertarian, but even within the Libertarian Party, we have so much things that are not in common.
Correct.
That it makes it too difficult.
No, fact.
It's like you have your right and your left. Libertarians are more lower. I don't know if you know about the compass, the political compass.
I've heard of it.
Libertarians are down at the bottom on more freedom, but they're wide, meaning you have your conservative leaning libertarians and your your progressive leaning libertarians. So that kind of breaks us apart in a way that's hard for us to come together. Like abortion. Mm-hmm. You got libertarians that believe either pro-life or pro-choice. You can go across the whole gambit of the thought process.
Gotcha.
Because again, what it comes down to is, what do you want? This is your freedom. You do whatever you want. You want to have an abortion, have an abortion. You don't want to have an abortion, don't have an abortion. And they want states to basically make their own decisions. Basically like if you want a community, you make a decision what you guys want to do in your own community. And then states is the biggest community. So or whatever your state wants to do, you should do it that way.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
I had a funny conversation with somebody not too long ago she was against the abortion thing, right? And she was like, "Oh, you're giving more power to the government. Now we're giving it back to the people. We're giving it to states." I'm like, but the position before was kind of more just you do the abortion. You could do the abortion.
Yeah.
Now you're giving it to states, so now you're giving them the opportunity to be like, no, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like...
You know what it is? Because states that don't believe in abortion were like, hey, they're thinking the opposite. They're like, you're making us do something we don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right. You're forcing us.
But then don't do it.
Yeah. But that's, again, that's why I think it's freedom. You should be able to, choose whatever you want. And that's why everybody says it across the board. We all say it, but we never do it.
Wait, so do you think that the decision should be in the federal or should be in the state of abortion?
The decision?
Because you would just say now you're giving the states the right to decide.
Well, that was her argument. Her argument was like now we're giving the power back to the people by giving it to the states, and I just found that kind of ironic because I was just like, but you're giving a state, for example, a state like Alabama, who would probably not let you get the abortion regardless of what your reason is. you're giving them the power to say, no, you can't get an abortion. So, like, you gave that power to the state, to your government.
But that's why local elections are so important, because they vote every 4 years, and that's it. They have, we were looking at a chart last podcast where in the primaries, not the primaries, I'm sorry, the midterms,
Okay.
those numbers go down. Like, nobody votes in that crap. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, those are important too.
Yo, it's wild, but think about it in the general scope of just our voting in general, even whether it's presidency or not. Like, how many the majority of Americans actually vote is not as much as it should be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know the exact number, but it's not like 100% of Americans vote. It's not like 80, 70. It's probably closer to like 60.
I think it's like 70.
Is it? All right. So
I think so, yeah.
70 well.
Percent of America votes for the president.
I don't even know if it's that much. Is it?
Because last time, what is it? 8 million? 80 million Biden got last time.
Mm-hmm.
That's including the fake votes that they added.
That's including the dead people that voted.
No, but 80 million. So we got 300 million.
Trump
in
had like
America?
79 and Biden had like 81 or 82 or Biden.
Biden or Kamala. Kamala had 70.
But all that, you know,
he got the popular, but not by much. Remember, we looked at it; it wasn't that much.
he got the popular vote this time.
Registered,
Yeah, but not
voter-
by that much.
In 2022,
Still, yeah.
in 2022,
So America's
registered
back,
vote-
baby. Freedom's on the menu, boys.
In
Not
20,
for you Latinos, though. Not for you Latinos. You guys are gone.
out of here, go pick up your garbage. In 2022, there was 162 million registered. In 2020, there was 184 million registered, and we were looking at it how it went down. So how many? That's just registered versus how many people actually showed up and voted.
Yeah, because people just register.
Yeah,
they
that's-
don't
You
care.
could
true.
register and not show up.
That happens a lot.
You can't do the reverse though.
I wonder. I was thinking about it too. I wonder if people felt like, oh, there's no way Trump is winning, so they kind of was just like, there's no point in me going. Kamala got in the bag.
I know
what
a lot
I'm
of
saying?
people in New York like that.
Yeah, they thought, oh, she's in. There's no doubt about it. There's no point in me going up
I'm
there.
sure there's people who think that. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's people who do that.
Because we were looking. Remember, Biden got a crazy amount of votes last time,
Crazy.
and it went down by not much though. Again, we looked at the numbers. It wasn't that much.
11 million is not a lot.
I mean, across the nation.
Yeah, bro. They were hard.
11 million
Yeah,
is a lot of missing people.
it's a lot of people, but relative to the nation, it's not much. You're talking
But
about 300 million people. 11 is.
I find it crazy that I'm not saying you guys, but so many people are surprised. I'm like, why are you surprised? Like, I feel
So
like
you
the
weren't
Democrats.
surprised?
Hell no.
You thought
you thought Trump was
had
going to win?
I knew Trump was gonna win.
Oh wow.
I knew Trump was gonna
Well,
win.
some of us are not confident Trump supporters like you.
No, bro. To me, it's like the writing was so much on the wall. First of all, you had Biden, right? And that whole situation. Then he finally decides to back out, right? He finally listens to everybody. Yo, you need to leave. Give us time to try to fix
Yeah,
this. So you only give her 100 and something days to try to.
Yeah, it was like 3 months she had. That was
Which
it.
to me, it was like maybe you would have had a slight chance if you did two things, right? Two things. And I'm not saying to maybe get people on the right to vote for you, but to try to galvanize your party, right? You could have did two things. One, you could have maybe been a little bit more vocal about the things that are happening right now in Palestine and Gaza, right? Because that's a big thing happening right now, right? It's a lot of people, me included, think that's a whole genocide happening over there. So whatever. Then the other aspect of it, you could have differentiated yourself from Biden just slightly.
Kamala, you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like say some, like you already know he had to leave, so things hadn't have been great. Like
Yeah.
it had to be bad for him to leave. You couldn't differentiate.
That's like
yourself
when
a
she was on
little
The
bit.
View. They asked her, and she was like, "Oh, they're about the same," and it made people feel like you're supposed to say something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Come on, we'll give you a softball question here. What are you doing? Yeah.
So I just like those two things combined. I just felt like the writing was on the wall, and I
Do
thought
you
maybe
think she was a good candidate?
Not at all.
No.
Not at, and I think the Democrats messed up big time when they didn't. And I get why it didn't happen, which is still not a good enough reason for me. That there wasn't really a primary
Yeah.
to get a new person an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there
Because
wasn't enough time.
there wasn't enough time, but there was, because it was just like most people knew that she wasn't very popular as a candidate herself.
Yeah, because we
When
saw
she
from the
was
last. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She
So
got
it's just
she got like negative votes. It was crazy.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. So it's just like she wasn't very popular as a candidate herself. So you're trying to tell me whether you like him or not, you had a Cornel West over there. But Well, let me even not say him, because you have third parties, and you know, they're not going to give those guys a chance. They're not going to give those guys a voice. But there were so many people that I would consider establishment Dems that to me were still better choices than her.
You think you think Cornel West would have been a better? You think people would vote?
I don't know if people would have voted for him. I think he could have galvanized the left if he was given that type of opportunity, but he would have never been given that platform. You know what I'm saying? Like he was already getting, like Bernie, they got crapped on.
Yeah.
On
they're
on
coming.
media.
They're not coming from the Democrat proper. They're coming from something adjacent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like those type of candidates, they're not going to get, especially with that short amount of time, like you said. You know what I'm saying? But even, I'll give you an example. Whether it would have been more difficult for him, probably because of what he is, what he represents. Pete Buttigieg. I'm not even a fan. No. But to me,
guy loves the game.
But I'm just saying, like, whether you like him or not, if you put that man in front of a camera, because I've seen him go on Fox News, and I've seen him, like, he can talk, he can woo you over, he can articulate his points very well. She doesn't do that very well.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I'll tell you one thing I learned, that she's from a middle class family.
She's from a what?
She's from a middle class family.
Okay.
That's what I know the most about her. Because she kept saying it over and over again.
That was her thing.
Every time they asked her any question, she would bring it back to she's from a middle class family.
Oh gosh, you know, I have so many people that joked about her pandering, but I'm like, yo, come on, everybody panders, bro. Trump panders, look, with the gold sneakers and the hip hop music.
You got a pair of them on right now?
No, you do not. This guy, Captain Rand.
But I heard too that the Kamala Harris and Biden campaign had $90 million that would go to waste if she didn't run, if she didn't take it.
I get that.
So they were like, we kind of got to give it to her.
That was the reason?
That's what I heard.
You see it? That's the reason that I said I get it, but that's still not a good enough reason for me. Because look, you took your chances and look what happened.
Nancy Pelosi was on the New York Times podcast. I don't know if you heard that, where she was talking about it.
I didn't.
So she basically said this, that when they were considering Kamala, and when they knew that he was going to leave and they were considering Kamala, Biden went out of his way and endorsed her before they made it official. Mm-hmm. And they were like, at that point we were stuck, because now we can't bring somebody else because the president is endorsing her.
Okay, I have to intervene.
Yeah.
I got to intervene.
Yes, sir.
Because that's not what happened. That's
what they saying happened.
That's what they told you.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
That's what they telling America.
What happened was,
what happened was
what I said.
What you just said was Nancy Pelosi copping out.
Yeah.
And throwing Biden further under the bus.
100%.
He was already dead. I mean, he was sleeping for a minute.
Literally.
But they furthered that, because what really happened, whatever side you're on, it was, we don't have time for a primary to be effective in getting a candidate, number one. Number two,
disagree with that, but damn.
Number two, maybe, but you're not going to have enough time for that person to campaign. We're talking about what, 100 days?
Yeah. Man, if you had a big enough voice. But go ahead.
That's number one. Number two, all of them, Biden, his wife, Pelosi, Obama, Oprah Winfrey, they sat down and they were like, the DNC, they sat down and they were like, not promoting her in this scenario is going to make us look racist. Yeah. It's going to make us look sexist. And that'll hurt way more if we go any other route.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
in my opinion,
I can see that.
That's exactly how it went down.
So
Biden, they all agreed. She's throwing him under the bus, but she was part of that committee that was like,
yeah, she was.
Yeah, we're going to have to push Kamala. Because everything was like bang, bang, bang. Saturday, he had the letter. Sunday, it was out. Monday, she was the candidate.
It happened so fast.
But I also think that, I think Biden's most to blame, because he should have dropped out. He should have dropped out at the beginning.
Should have never been there, to be honest with you.
He should have been like, look, I'm not going to run again.
Well, yeah. Going on your first point, to me, I could bring it back to that, right? Like you said, he shouldn't have been there in the first place. So, just in general, like, why? Were you gonna say something?
No.
All right, go say what you're gonna say. So I'll come back to it, because I want to get that. I want to get my train of thought together on that. Because okay. I knew what I was gonna say, and then it kind of just a brain fart just happened.
So to me, they were all in agreement to this being the only viable answer, because anything outside the card, it would have given the other side the card of saying, I thought they were DEI. I thought they were for women. I thought this
was a black job.
I thought this was a... Right. So they heard all that rhetoric and couldn't be seen playing that narrative, because that's the narrative they're playing. That's their card. That's their little trick to the other side. So for them to then be... And it's clear that that's what happened, because Biden quickly became the scapegoat. Biden, when others say, not you guys, not just you guys, but when you say that Biden should have tapped out early, I'm sorry, but that should have been a conversation that they would... You don't think that they had that conversation with him early?
That's what I'm saying. But he probably thought, I'm staying in, guys. Because he was saying it even after
You're saying that they were telling him to fold and he wasn't folding.
I don't think they were telling him to fold. I think they were like, are you going to do this? They were trying to force it. Are you going to run? Are you sure? I think they were doing that. Are you sure?
So you know how you said that she didn't have time, right? That was one of the things, that there was no time there. I don't really buy that, because I'll go back to when Bernie was going against Biden, right? It was really Bernie versus everybody else. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Biden was kind of on the back end of that list.
Uh-huh.
There was all these other guys, all these other people who were at play. All right. What happened? Once they saw Bernie started knocking off in this first two states, I forgot what two states, it was Iowa and I think the other one, whatever. There was a big nervousness of, all right, look, this guy can actually win. Obama came out of nowhere. They got Jim Clyburn to get the black vote in the South. Like, that happened so fast to put Biden on a pedestal, to just get, all of a sudden, he's at the top of the list.
Yeah, but they did that with Clinton. Remember Clinton was running? They did that to him too.
What do you mean?
They bumped Bernie was doing good, and they got rid of him too.
Oh, you mean for when he was going against Hillary? Yeah, I got you. But I'm just saying,
they don't want him.
But that's what I'm not even trying to talk about Bernie. It's more so the fact that for that to be an argument that there wasn't enough time. Like, no, if you can get somebody that can galvanize the party, you know what I'm saying? I think it could have happened. If you did it for Biden, you could have done it for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there were other females. I think there were other females besides Kamala. Who was there? What other? Well, no, not women of color, right? That were actually. So, no. Damn, she was the only one.
Yeah, I mean, but if you want the job to get done, I don't think a woman of color.
You think you're
probably a white man?
You put any
probably a white man to do it.
You put anything other than black up there in that scenario is gonna make it look racist because you didn't pick Kamala.
Because she was vice president.
Identity politics, man, it's not good.
No, but look at the optics. She's the next in line, and you're not gonna promote the next in line.
Yeah. That's why.
No, you know why? Because she wasn't. Where was she the first 2 years of Biden's presidency?
And then if
that was a problem.
Hold on,
right?
Hold on. Okay, further that if you don't promote, not only does it look racist, not only does it look sexist, but it also puts in your mind, if she doesn't get promoted or endorsed as the candidate for the Democratic Party, did she ever qualify for the job she has now?
Yeah.
You're doing way too much damage.
But bro, what was the opposite?
And I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if Biden folded early, because again, you have to go with her.
No, you don't got to, because you could just be like, "Hey, we decided
that's
we're
why
step
you
back
have no
and at the future
from
of the
this
party,
whole direction, right?
No,
this whole movement was just going in the wrong direction.
You're wrong, because in that scenario, you have to go with her. The only other way to go out of that scenario where you don't look racist, sexist, and make her look incompetent is having a primary.
Well, but what I'm saying is this: when Biden steps down,
the best thing,
they step down together. Like, hey, we're gonna give somebody else an opportunity. We had a good run.
Yeah, you're the vice president to the president. So
yeah,
they're always.
And she just has to agree with Biden. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Biden, and we're gonna do this together.
Hence, why I think that was a mistake that she didn't differentiate herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't differentiate yourself, then you're going down with that shit.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I'm saying?
That's what happened.
That's what happened. Yeah. So when you say like they had no choice,
try to keep the.
Oh, I'm sorry. So when you say that they didn't really have a choice, that's what we saw. There, it was either you take a chance and do something that can galvanize people, like do something different, or go down with the ship. And they chose to go down with the ship.
Well, do you think? Is there anything in these past 4 years that you think Biden did well?
No.
That's interesting.
A lot of broken promises. I mean, people. Yeah, there's little things you could point to here and there, but nothing that galvanized me.
Yeah. You think it was just a quiet 4 years? Nothing much happened.
I think I saw more happening on the right.
Interesting. Okay.
You know, I thought
You
Republicans.
can't name one thing in the Democratic Party in the last 4 years. Like what was the infrastructure? There's potholes. There's always been potholes. What was the infrastructure bill that helped what?
You know, they'll point to the jobs numbers and all these things, but I'm like, yeah, but in terms of big policy promises.
But things are so expensive. You need 3 jobs, so of course there are going to be good job numbers because everyone's working their ass off just to survive.
Yeah.
And we're coming out of COVID. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like.
Also, the Mexicans got the jobs. I don't know what you're talking
These
about.
Mexicans, man. I want
Illegals.
I want to work on those farms.
I love
bro.
how Mexicans get thrown in there as the immigrant party. Meanwhile, there's so many different other races that are crossing the border.
Oh, but which we haven't talked about. Immigration, bro. Like,
so
Well, that's another thing too. They
why stay
I
in
don't know
the
if it was
Democratic Party if you've seen the bull crap? Are you planning to stay in the Democratic Party?
all right, so
And first of all, thanks for being, upfront, because there's a lot of, who you are. There's a lot of people out there that just soft, like, speak your mind.
I think too. People don't know the difference between these things. They just think, oh, Democrat is these guys,
facts.
Republicans these guys. There's so much in between.
absolutely.
There's so much thought process that goes into all this.
So you're saying that the illiterate just thinks as Republicans as racist and Democrats as Obama?
Basically, yeah.
Yo,
I think that's 90% of the population.
Yo, that's sad but
Got
true.
it. All right.
Sad but true.
People are dealing
Sad
with
but
other
true.
things in their lives. They don't want to think too much. They're just like, oh, who am I going to vote for? Just tell me.
After
And that's only happened that right, digging even more into the sand. You're seeing that so much more now. It's crazy. Yeah,
And I think actually, if people wish to do that, I think it'll help out America more.
absolutely.
Because it's just like we did something in New York. But I don't know if I don't know if you voted this cycle, but they had like propositions,
Yeah.
and I thought that was great. I was like, we should always have propositions. Let the people vote for things.
Yeah, but like it's almost like the pharmaceutical ads. Like how they whisper the bad stuff, but talk about like. Did you see how they changed the language on some of these propositions to kind of like confuse people?
Well, the only thing I noticed
I thought that was so slick, bro.
The only thing that I noticed that to that point exactly was that it wasn't that they changed the language; it was that they inverted the yes and the no. So, and then they try to explain it. Voting for no means yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Hold on a
Voting
second.
for no means everything stays the same.
Yeah, it's like what?
So I don't know.
I'm dyslexic, bro. What are you doing to me right now?
I don't know. I don't know what the situation was with you guys, but I had my wife at the booth with me, right? Because we always do that. We're always right next
Oh,
to each
that's
other.
illegal.
No, I don't know. Shit, I wasn't sure.
You should have ran with it.
But like, I had to ask her like 5 times, bro. I'm like, am I reading this the right way? Is this? Do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
So it was just, and then I asked somebody else at the garage the other day, and they said the same thing. It's like, yo, I went over it like 10 times, bro. Like, was I right in the right thing? And I was like, oh man,
That's why we
these
pick up
guys.
garbage.
So imagine like people who really don't care as much. They see the proposition. I'm gonna vote just yes for everything, I guess. And I don't think a lot of people even read those through as much as they probably should.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't. They definitely don't. And so my question to you was going to be: Do you still after the 4 years, would you consider switching? Are you staying with that party? Where you at with that?
It's a sad question because really, like, what's the answer? I only have 2 options. My third option is to conserve, like hold back my vote. But what does that do? There's not enough people who feel the same way I do about holding back that vote to hold these people accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because
if you say I'm holding back the vote, either they're gonna be like, either you're a hidden conservative. Mm-hmm. Like you don't want to tell nobody that you're conservative.
What does it mean holding back the vote?
No, like
you're
just
just not gonna vote.
Just not vote.
okay.
But at the end of the day, to me, that benefits them. Right? I think they don't really care about like people voting. You know what I'm saying? There's an element of control that I feel. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
they control. There's 2 parties. They control everything.
they control everything. Absolutely.
And this is what that's the whole Nancy Pelosi and the old guard.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like, we don't like each other, but we're gonna make sure it's just us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even though we disagree with everything, we're gonna make sure we're the only ones agreeing or disagreeing, and that's it.
absolutely.
So you're staying Democrat. What is it
All
about
right,
the?
So he's registered Democrat. He's not necessarily a Democrat.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say this. I don't know what's going to happen in these next 4 years. And people say, oh, that's extreme. You're crazy for thinking that. I don't know if I'll be able to vote in 4 more years.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
they've already put out the thing to vote for the country. There's a website. We're going to bring it up later. If you want to bring back slavery. And it's getting high votes. So
Yo, listen.
we're supposed to register. I registered already. I don't want to go to jail.
So you registered as a slave?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We have to. All the Latinos.
I can't be a slave, Papa. I gotta keep this beautiful pear-shaped body.
I think it's wild that they, like, for example, you when I'm talking to a conservative or Republican and we're talking about politics, and they always come back to, oh, you take what he says too serious. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. Then in my head, I'm like, so why are you voting for somebody who's just making broken promises that he's not going to keep?
It's funny. I was just telling somebody about the tariffs. They're like, oh, tariffs this. I'm like, I don't think he's going to do all those tariffs.
Oh, the tariffs. So got
because the first time he wanted to do all these tariffs, he only put it to China.
Yeah, but even if he does it to China, who's paying for that? So if he puts the tariffs on China, we have to pay that.
I mean, the tariffs are on them right now. They've been on for the past 3-4 years now. I guess
that's another thing. I don't know. Like, do people even know what tariffs are?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I don't think he's going to do as much tariffs as he says I think he's just using it as a threat mechanism.
And when President-elect when he was nominated, didn't China do like a 1-point-something trillion forgiveness to the U.S. in debt?
That was the first time he ran?
No, just now.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, Google it. Check on your phone real quick.
China?
Fact check me. Yeah, but I believe that China, when he became the president, they instantly were like, you know that bill? Let's cut it down a little bit. We're gonna forgive you we'll forget about $1 trillion worth of it, and fact check it because I want to be correct. Because to me, that's China saying, no more tariffs. Like, we're trying to make money off of your citizens. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop. Like, we'll lower your bill. Your bar bill, we got you.
Oh wow.
Am I right?
China unveils $1.4 trillion debt swap, saves stimulus for Trump.
Yeah, instantly when he became president.
They just get
When he became the president-elect.
and they'll use that. Look, he gets benefit. He gets the benefit of that. Look, Trump
He's
did
getting
that. Trump did
benefits
that.
for mad stuff, and he hasn't even taken the oath.
I wonder if people look back at Trump's first presidency like, it wasn't that bad. We probably should have just chilled.
I think what most people did was, I think they said to themselves, this was horrible. There's one only other choice.
Yeah, I know.
I think
Either
half the
I
country
sit out,
I think
either
half
I
the
sit it
country's
out, I hold the vote like you said, or I'm just going to play Russian roulette with this and hit Trump. And I ran into so many people of color, of ethnicity, minorities that were like, I'm voting for Trump. And I ain't telling nobody. Meaning like their family, their close friends, because they would see the ridicule. So you're staying in that party.
I mean, I would never go Republican. I can't because even Republican Party
but there's
now.
more parties, right?
Yeah, okay. I could say I'm going to go Green Party, but that's more of a moral victory, I guess. It's
but
not
I mean,
gonna
I'm just
do
saying, if
anything.
you did join the Green Party, then you would have to say, all right, this party is very disjointed. There's not much leadership. Let me start going to these meetings.
That's true.
Let
too.
me be more involved.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. But then again, like, that's absolutely true. But with these other parties, they're having issues, and they've had issues for years getting on ballots, right? So like,
Again, the old guard. Yeah.
I mean, that's true, bro. But they just tried to have.
Are
Cornel
you trying
West.
to recruit him into the Libertarian
No,
Party?
I mean, bro.
He is. Stay
Everybody
wary.
He is.
Be careful.
I want people to just be free. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, bro. I'm telling them to go to the Green Party
Why would you do that?
because I want people to live their truth. Okay? Jeez. That's why they call me a Democrat sometimes.
I changed.
I want a whole new party.
Will says that to
I
me.
want a whole new party. Will says,
You're
"Oh
a
my
Democrat.
gosh."
I'm like, bro, I just want people to be happy. I don't care if you're gay or whatever you want to be, bro.
You see, but that was
Just
going to
happy.
be my point against Republicans right now, because I feel like, let's just say I wanted to be Republican, right? You know who I actually thought was pretty cool, who I liked? I'm not saying like I liked everything he said, but remember Kasich? John Kasich.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
I think it was in 2016, right?
John Kasich?
Yeah. I think he was trying to go for president in 2016.
I don't.
I believe so. But I was like, all right, this guy is a decent guy. You know what I'm saying? So there was just, right now it's not a Republican Party. It's Party of Trump. Let's
100%,
be real.
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
100%,
There's not the Republican Party anymore. It's Party of Trump.
Well, when he leaves, we'll see what happens. After these 4 years, see if it comes back. Yeah.
If he leaves.
You don't think he's leaving?
Man, listen.
Don't they have rules against that?
Listen, I'm going to say one thing against that, what you just said. Yeah, they got rules, but he also has the House, he has the Senate, and he has the Supreme Court, all with mostly people that are really gravitating towards his voice and his, I hate saying this, but like cultish behavior. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but there's also people outside of his party that are looking and like, you know what? I'm going to join him.
What
right? Look at, I mean, Bernie just said he was going to join him with something.
Join who?
Trump.
Yeah. In what?
What was it? You saw it? Did you read it?
Look it up. Let's
Bernie,
be right.
Bernie just said that he's gonna join with Trump on something because he likes his idea.
I think it was about.
That's your boy.
I think it had to do with one of the three major things that we're dealing with: the wars. Uh-huh. Either it's the wars, the border, or it's definitely not abortion.
Probably healthcare because he has RFK on there.
Oh, that's what it was. The credit card debt, the credit card interest rates.
Yes.
Bernie Sanders fights comment.
Okay, I mean,
Trump.
listen.
He praises him for it.
Hey.
He said he's willing to.
How are you not a good party or a good candidate when you're making the effort to reach across the aisle?
You have to, and I'm okay with that.
But Biden didn't do that. Kamala ain't doing that. Trump showed up to podcasts where he wasn't invited. When he went to the black,
I mean, he was invited, but he just wasn't welcomed.
He wasn't welcome.
Yeah.
There we go. He wasn't welcome.
He just burst through the door. Like, what is Trump doing here?
Yo,
I was registered independent for a minute, and when a few years back, when I saw that there was a party that's called "I Ain't Part of No Party," non-party affiliate.
The red's too high.
The red's too high.
You never heard of that party? There's an actual party called the red's too high.
Really?
Yeah.
You remember the candidate that was called These Nuts that was running in Hollywood?
Yeah. Got my vote.
He got votes though. He got votes.
So I would never join a party. And actually, after talking to this guy and how hard he went for the Libertarian Party, I'm actually contemplating joining that party. Because the ideas and sort of the mindset, I just hate the people that are support the front runners, if you will, the faces of it really sucks.
That's what I was gonna say with the Green Party. Like,
you know what I mean? The faces of the Green Party really suck.
And it sucks because I don't know if you listen to libertarians. They have really good people within the party, but they're not running for office per se. They're like, a lot of people are just like what we do, podcasting, stuff like that. And they have other people on that are running, but then you listen to them like, why don't you just run, bro?
And then when the shit hits the fan,
and they got their show, they're comedians or whatever. They're doing their own thing.
What happened to Andrew Yang with his thing that he was doing?
The DEI, not the DEI. What is it?
DEI. That's the end of that. That's gonna be the end of that with Trump.
Yeah. But he was doing the universal basic income. But I don't think that's the end of that. I feel like it's growing. I think that idea is too soon. I think that's gonna be,
Well, got to start right
when automation really starts taking over. That's when
I'm not talking about that policy, but did you realize that he was trying to create a new party?
Andrew Yang.
Yes.
Yeah. What is it called?
I forgot what it was called.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm not sure. We could probably.
That's wild.
But it was picking up a lot of steam because there was a lot of millionaires and billionaires who was gravitating towards it, but nobody stepped up to.
But he got his own. Didn't he get his own show on something?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Network?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that it was a great idea he had. I think that's something that we might eventually.
Might be if you can't run on one idea.
No, of course not.
You know what I'm saying? I think that at that point you got to join with other parties. And be like, all right, what are you guys doing? What do you guys think about this?
There's a lot of one-issue voters out there. Hate Mexicans. All right, we got to go for Trump. There you go.
What if you love Mexicans? Vote for Trump still?
I love Mexicans.
Biden was kicking them out too.
Honestly, I want the Mexicans to stay. They're doing a damn good job.
It's sad that they're the only targets, bro. And that's a whole nother conversation, right? You can talk about white replacement theory and why they really want Spanish people gone. I remember for years growing up, all I kept on hearing was Latinos is going to be the majority in America.
2060.
What was it?
2060.
2060. Oh gosh, they put a pause on that, boy.
Do you really think he's not going to leave office? What are you buying that the Democrats have been selling you about Trump, about the Republicans?
Honestly, it's nothing that they've said, and it's everything that he's said. So it's more. All right, my first time up, I had these people I didn't know better. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like them, and I kicked them out. But now, remember, if you really listen to Trump, if you listen to him speak, he's all about loyalty. He's all about loyalty. So right now you're seeing it. You're seeing like a dude who just got a job. He's putting all his boys in, regardless if they're qualified for the positions or not. Look at Lauren Boebert. She's going to be the head of the Department of Education. And it's just like, yo, you took 4 tries to get your GED.
Oh, he tried to destroy the Department of Education.
Well, there's that. You know what I'm saying? And you got
that actually makes sense, though. If you're trying to destroy it,
is he really putting that person?
Yeah.
And you got the Fox News host, right? Who was a military vet, is going to be the Secretary of State or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, but he has some, he got some stripes.
Some stripes. Yeah, he got some crazy tattoos too. I don't know if you heard about the tattoos that he has.
Here's my problem with that narrative. My problem is that if I'm running a business, right? I'm opening up a hot dog stand. I'm opening up a whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm making toys. And
what kind of toys?
Calm down. Baby, calm down.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. You know what kind of toys. Why wouldn't I want people who are loyal to me?
That's true. But you also want people that aren't going to, right? Like, you want to be able to handle the position. You want to be able to.
But
like,
what makes those two, what makes you automatically assume that they're just going to be yes men just because they're loyal?
Because they're yes men right now.
How?
Are they really?
Are they?
Also, too, like, this is my thoughts when I hear that, too, is that they don't have to know everything about the entirety of what they're running. They just have to be able to manage the people that do know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
I don't do the job of moving those buses at Newark Airport. I watch them do it.
So, in this case, let's just say for context, we're talking about Lauren Boebert. She hasn't done nothing in the time that she's been in office. She hasn't passed any policies or anything like that. She's literally done nothing for her own state.
But if you're trying to destroy the Department of Education, that's the person you want doing it.
I mean, if you want to destroy anything that you're trying to get rid of, I guess that's what you do, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, she can have it. We're gonna get rid of it anyway.
So, but that's my point. So when I go back to when you said, is it what the Dems are saying, or is it? And I said, no, it's what he's saying. It's what he's doing. It's what I'm witnessing with my own eyes. So when he's talking his rhetoric, and it's just like, all right, do I believe what he's saying? When he says the first time they held me back. Now I got people who are loyal to me, are gonna do what I say, and I'm gonna make sure I get what I'm promising you done. And that's cool, right? If you like what he's promising. But the policies that he's trying to put in place, I feel a majority of Americans really don't want these things, and maybe they just don't know better. Or
is there any one of his policies that you're like, you know what, that's a good idea?
Well, I didn't see what you were talking about with that thing.
He wants to lower interest rates for credit cards to only 10%. That's the highest.
I mean, that's good.
Cool. That's good. But if you think about the repercussions,
there's always repercussions.
Credit card companies are gonna be like, we're not gonna give credit to anybody now because we can't trust you guys.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
So, I'm just saying.
They're giving cards willy-nilly.
Yeah.
You get a card. They're acting like Oprah.
But it's funny because when progressives...
And you honestly think that the credit cards are not going to come around with other types of fees?
Of course. They always create new ways to...
But it's a good idea, but I know there's always going to be... You know who Thomas Sowell is?
No.
He's an economist. And one of his famous quotes is, there's no winning and losing. There's only compromise. So it's something like this. If I'm going to give you this, there's always tariffs. We're going to make sure that American companies make more and charge them more if they want to bring it here. But that just means we pay our people more than they pay their people. So our products are going to cost more.
Absolutely.
And if we want to import their stuff, now it's going to cost more too because we're taxing them.
Might as well just make it here.
Yeah, that's the idea. We might as well make it here.
So.
I mean, America's...
But then make it better.
But my thing when I hear the narrative of he's hiring people that's loyal, I just feel like that's an argument for the weak-minded, because I want people who are loyal to me, and I'm not gonna assume that just because they're loyal to me, they're not people that are gonna say, "I disagree with you, bro." As a leader in businesses and in companies that I worked before, I got into an argument with another director. She was like, "How dare you talk to the business owner like that?" I'm like, "He doesn't pay me for yeses. He pays me to produce. If I see something that's wrong, I'm gonna call it out. I don't care if it's his idea."
But hence,
he was sitting in the room, and he's sitting there like this, loving it.
I respect that. I respect that.
That's what I'm hoping that. But the narrative is they're just little puppets that are gonna bow to his every will. How does that?
But that's part of that narrative. So the other part is it again. So it's like if it's things that he's gonna break down, he's doing it purposefully, and they're things that I'm afraid he's gonna break. Like for example, like my wife. I used to work for the Board of Ed. My wife works for the Board of Ed. A lot of teachers here in New York City work for the Board of Ed. They're teachers, and he wants to get rid of the Board of Ed. So like. How do you justify that? Like how does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know,
that's like if they did it with us. Oh, we're gonna get rid of it and just make it private.
See, let's bring Lauren. What was her last name?
Lauren Boebert.
Let's bring her into the fold.
Educated person.
Remember what they did to her in the movie theater? What she did to her boyfriend?
Oh, she was like smoking in the theater or something too.
No, was she smoking?
Yeah, she was like smoking on the low.
I know she was doing something to him.
Yeah.
She was definitely smoking.
He was like grabbing her titties.
Whoa,
America, baby.
Hey,
bring sex ed back.
Boys are back in town.
No, there's only kids right behind her.
Like with her, for example, again, he's picking people who are loyal, who are going to be loyal to the job, to the function that they're serving. But he's carrying Elon Musk around like his auditor.
Let's see how long that lasts.
Oh, he's kind of like.
In other words, he's putting loyal people there, but he's putting this guy to oversee that proposal that we were talking about in the last podcast that said
the
that
Department of damn, I forgot how does it go?
it was
the new thing that they
Doge, the department,
the Doge. There you go.
the Doge. So to me, he's
Like that wasn't planned there.
perfect. My shit. Anyways, so
There we go. Biased opinion over here.
Thank you, Mr.
Biased
President.
opinion.
very biased. Nancy, where you at, Nancy? How's your crypto? No, so to me, he's putting this person to oversee. I think it's really wise. The fat, we were talking about this. The fat, the waste of people. I've been through different companies, and every time I go in, I'm like, I would fire half the company today and save this person, this business owner, millions. Increase productivity, increase compliance, increase quality assurance, increase the work ethic of the remaining the ones that are actually doing the work, increase their salaries and still lower the bottom line. So to me, when I see he's putting someone, I'd rather have someone with passion and someone with education and finances and budgeting that can oversee that person with passion to get the ultimate outcome. I don't think Trump is Jesus, but I think that we need a businessman. We needed him back in 2016. We definitely needed him in 2020, and the people spoken and said,
Then we should have won with Elon and not Trump.
Elon is
He's an American.
I know, I'm just-
right. He's not American.
He's
Otherwise,
African-American.
he would have had. otherwise, he would have had my vote.
Neither is Trump's wife, but we can't deport her.
No.
Well, we go deport her. Why not?
Don't leave her alone.
What?
She just wrote a book.
She's one of the clean.
Did she?
Yo,
number one
She wrote a book?
He
What was
came-
it called?
he
Michelle
came-
Obama?
he
Like written by Michelle Obama?
He was doing a rally in Long Island. He was like, "Oh, check out my wife's book. It just came out.
Number one bestseller.
Buy her book."
New York Times.
He was like, "I haven't read it because I'm really busy."
No, he didn't say that.
He did, and then he
So good,
goes,
He would
and
say
no, hold on, that's not even it. And then he goes, "I haven't read it because I'm really busy campaigning. But if there's something bad about me, don't buy the book. Do not buy her book." I was like, this guy is
Yo, bro. Listen, with that being said,
He's a character,
bro, how about we take some bets right now to see how long Elon Musk's relationship with Trump is going to last?
Bro, I think it's already starting to.
Bro.
For real?
Yeah.
No.
I saw something that he was talking to some other Republicans, and he was like, "This guy doesn't stop following me everywhere I go. He's behind me."
That's hilarious.
And one of the reporters like Elon made a face when Trump said that. Like,
Did you
"Oh."
see the
Yeah.
image of RFK eating McDonald's
Yeah.
with Trump and the crew?
Oh my God,
And RFK's face is like,
Yo, bro, listen, man.
You saw the RFK went like 9,000 days without drinking a soda. He was showing out his phone.
That dude is ripped, bro.
Yeah. And he was showing like 9,000 days without drinking a soda for the first time on that plane with Trump right now.
"Oh my God, yeah, he had a mini Coca-Cola."
Yeah, mini Coca-Cola. It's the first time he drank soda in years.
That's probably why he had that face like, "I'm about to die."
Going against everything. Bro, watch.
You think he's going to make America healthy again, like he said?
Who, RFK?
RFK?
I think
I think he's the first one they're gonna shoot.
Oh gosh, yo, bro. Honestly, though,
I know he believes in some conspiracy theories. Apparently, I heard. I don't know, but it doesn't mean that you're not.
He has some decent ideas.
Doesn't mean you have some ideas of being healthy. I think it's a good idea for people to be healthier.
He came up with something that I'm actually for. He was talking about how he wants to like eliminate like the commercials, the healthcare, like
I'm with that. 100%.
The pharmaceutical commercials that air.
I'm fine with that.
I was like, okay, I like that.
You know, he started as an environmental lawyer, fighting for the environment, and then he got letters from women across the country saying, "Please look into the vaccine. Something about mercury in it. It's made my
talking with the autism and all that."
Yeah,
stuff.
so he started looking into it more. He's like, "Why do they even put that in there?" So he started looking. Then he started suing them, and then they took it out. But the vaccine works just fine. He's like, "Why did you put it in there? And why won't you tell us why you put it in there?" And that made him almost like a conspiracy theorist. He was like, "That's unusual that you put that in there, and now it's out, but it still works exactly the same."
I would like to give him somewhat the benefit of some sort of doubt, just because I know there needs to be drastic changes in our healthcare system. So I'm big with that. Like I think we've talked about it. I believe in universal healthcare, and I'm
with you.
So I'm a
liberal.
So I mean, if there can be some sort of drastic change to kind of because honestly, I think everything with government, we kind of need to get a big redo.
Yeah.
And there's no real way to do that, I guess, unless you do something
you
crazy.
Have the House, the Senate, and the Supreme Court. Then you could do the hard reset.
Yeah, but this one wants to go the opposite way. If it was things that I liked, bro, I would have been like, damn.
That's the other thing. Like, you really think that he's out to do harm?
I don't think he cares about people the way he portrays himself to care about people. I think it's really about, I'm wealthy. I want to stay wealthy. I want to keep my friends wealthy. I don't.
But he could do that without being president.
Can he? Because
it's only $400,000 a year. You know, he donated all his money.
What's only $400,000 a year?
The salary.
Yeah, but having that platform, that's like, come on, bro. It's like the biggest influencer in the world.
You know, the first time he was president, he left the office with less money than he came in with.
Yeah, because he let his daughter and his son-in-law get everything. How much did his son-in-law make? How much did his daughter make?
His son-in-law made $1 billion.
Come on, bro.
From I forgot what country.
I remember when Trump was first running for office, his daughter was a failing saleswoman. Her company was going down. Yeah. Her clothing line was going down, bro. All of a sudden, she's
the
meeting
American
world leaders.
dream.
But okay,
for real, dead ass. I'm not hating on that. You know,
but I gotta point out the fact that you're saying that, but in the same breath, you're saying that he's out to destroy the country.
I'm not saying he's out to destroy the country. I don't think he knows better, bro.
I don't think he's saying it's intentional.
Yeah. I just think
he's just doing stuff that's not going to work and it's going to ruin the country.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
he's doing things that's not going to work and it's going to ruin the country, but it's only going to benefit his kids.
No, I think it's going to benefit. He thinks it's going to just benefit him. I don't know what
his kids benefit regardless. They're good.
Yeah, they're good.
Regardless of what happens to the country.
His friends,
they're great.
Yeah, I mean,
they're great.
I feel like there's strange reasons why he likes. Yeah. He has this infatuation with dictators. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And how he admires.
They get things done. I don't know what's the problem.
Yeah, but how do they get things done? Is President Yi, whatever, is he ever going to be gone from China?
When he dies.
There you go. And he really likes that idea.
China's going to be chaos.
Huh?
China's going to be chaos when he dies. I promise you. There's going to be the civil war in China.
It's already coming up. It's already happening.
Yeah.
The youth is tired of it.
What happened to Hong Kong and all that stuff? You know, what is it, 2 summers ago?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was watching a history about why it led the way it is. The government that Europe made that deal with doesn't even exist anymore because China they had their own civil war. So neither one of the parties that are in the party now was the party that they made a deal with Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. So one of the governments that was around was the one that's in Taiwan right now. Mm-hmm. The other one that's in power wasn't around. It was like a revolutionary thing, and they were like, "We have the biggest army, so we're taking that." We're taking Hong Kong after that contract. And Europe was like...
Yo, that was so crazy to watch.
Take it.
When that was happening, were you on social media watching everything that was happening?
When they were taking the cones and covering the thing and putting water in it, I was like, that's freaking... Bro. Asians are so smart.
I had never...
Jeez. Well, we're getting gassed every day and Asians are just...
But those were protests. Those were protests. That was a mass protest, bro.
For weeks, right?
For nothing because it still went down.
Yeah.
Bro.
And they couldn't do nothing about it.
They couldn't do nothing about it.
There's no contract. That's what it was. It was a contract.
I voted on both sides, right? I voted for Obama twice. I voted for Trump 3 times.
Wow.
I voted for Bush twice. So I voted on each side. bitch.
He left
And
the
in
bush.
each president, I think to myself, these people love the country. They love the country. They want to see the country prosper. They have kids that live in this country. They want to see this country prosper. Up until
Kamala. Childless
the
witch.
ending of Obama / Biden, with this whole DEI inclusion, they forced this narrative of transgender, the school kids.
Who forced it?
They did.
Who's they?
The boogeyman.
Obama, Kamala,
So
Everybody with a funny name.
Biden.
I like this conversation.
What do you think about the?
You had trans going topless at the White House.
Uh-huh.
That's true. In the White House.
In the White House.
Okay.
They pushed this narrative.
That's
A
the
lot of
And-
crazy
that's the
things,
white man's house.
A lot of
And
crazy things have
respect it.
happened in the White House.
And my,
to be honest, a lot of
and
crazy things have
cocaine,
happened.
right?
Yep.
Right, exactly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you.
All right.
I agree with you.
Why are we stopping at transgenders showing their boobs
I
at
just
the
feel
White
like
House?
that's such a sensitive thing, and it's something that's
But cocaine
so
isn't.
new.
Okay.
No, cocaine's been around for a minute.
So have transgenders.
But it hasn't been in the forefront. And to bring it into the level of children, to the level of school, it just felt like it was an inappropriate thing to do for any party.
So what I tell people with the transgender, like that's a personal decision that you're making public.
Yeah, and I think that
This
there's
is a hot topic conversation in my garage, by the way. But go ahead.
there's enough.
Lot of
there's-
transgenders there.
it
Not at all. Not one.
Not enough.
now.
We need one, though. At least
Come
one, bro.
here.
We need-
It's such a hot topic issue, that's the divisiveness that I feel the Democrats forced upon the people, that they proclaim Trump is. That's the divisiveness. Trump came in and he brought in the racist side of America, but that was Americans that came out of the shadows as racist, and those crazy ones running around with the flags, and they happened to wave his flag, the Trump MAGA flag. So he got roped the dope into that. Whereas
he doesn't mind it.
that's numbers, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it. Whereas I feel like the Democrats, they did do it. They did bring this.
Because they're the party of inclusion.
Again, in this topic, especially with kids, you lost a lot.
Yeah, people get really
It's
crazy.
lost a
very
lot,
fair,
huh?
very fair, very fair. I get that. I respect that. It's a hot topic, bro. It's a hot topic, and it seems to be from friends that I know that leaned Democratic and actually went Republican. That seems to be the sticking point. That right?
You had
But
Charlemagne.
it-
You had Charlemagne call Kamala Harris out on you're gonna fund prisoners trans
Genocide.
operations, and you're saying, and I quote her, everyone's gonna get it. You want to give it to everyone.
Wow, he put that black accent on. You heard it?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to do her.
pander.
I'm trying to do her.
Get it.
Trying to pick one of her voices.
Yo, when she was speaking in front of the Spanish people, she had a Spanish accent.
Yeah, I'm trying to do her.
her.
And then you had Charlemagne not ask her about it when she was on his show. The bull is exposed, and you're bringing topics that the society isn't ready for. We're not even ready for the racist. We're still dealing with the racist card.
But
to bring this other one in there.
See, all right, so even you saying that, so we're not done with the racist thing, but it had to happen somewhere. It happened in. We'll go back to the civil rights movement, right? It had to happen. We're, believe it or not, at a place now where a lot of that people in that community feel like it has to happen. Whether this is the starting point for where we're going to end up 10 to 20 years from now, who knows? But for them, it had to start happening. So I have transgender family members. Like I have a family that I've known since they were babies, right? And growing up, you felt like, all right, well, they don't talk as much. They're not as socially as other kids. You know what I'm saying? And there seems to be some sort of sadness there, but I don't get it because the parents are amazing, awesome parents. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, kid hits his teenage years, and it's just like, I've always been this. I'm letting you know now. And now there's like this glow on this kid of happiness. And when you hear these stories about kids who end up committing suicide and stuff like that because there's no support system. Let's be real. Like back in the day when we were in high school, it was you see somebody do some shit, yo, homo, gay. You say some sort of slang. It wasn't until I got a little older I'm like, damn, I'm saying something that might be affecting somebody in a negative way. Yeah. I should be more aware of that. And I feel like just thinking about it in terms of people who don't say nothing, who are in the closet, about whether if they're gay or if they're transgender, what they're feeling emotionally, that, you know what, damn, look, I didn't even say nothing. I'm trying to hold this secret because A says this about the people that think like me. I'm crazy. This person's saying that something's mentally wrong with me, so I can't tell him. So there's just this feeling that they probably are stuck with. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're coming out of their shell, and maybe they are, maybe many. I'm not saying all, obviously, because I think a lot of people have a problem with the flamboyancy of it, right? So there's the flair, where it's just like you being mad extra. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's purposeful.
Yeah, like, where'd you get that accent from? Why are you talking like that? Oh. The gay people. All right. How'd you get that accent? I think
all of a sudden you got a British accent. British accent.
Wow. British people are... Wow. Sorry, Britain.
That's so good.
Trying to keep it close to the mic, though.
But I think that the media... And maybe certain politicians, but the media in general has made a bigger issue of this. And I think it's all systematic, bro, because I think it all causes division, which keeps us divided.
I don't think the media did. I think the Democrats did. They ran with that flag.
Yeah, but also, too,
but they're the party of inclusion. Too. So if that's something that's embedded into their newer DNA, because, all right, guys,
but not the kids. And when you talk about the kids, in my opinion, you said a very good word, support. Mm-hmm. The most they should have done with kids is say, we recognize you and we want to see you. Here's support. Here's counselors. Here's therapy. Here's a group. Here's education. Here's inclusion. But go have a surgery and let me protect you by not telling your parents that you're going to have a sex change?
I feel like that's...
Trump said that when they go to school, they come back with a sex change. You heard that video?
He did?
He said that. They go to school, they come back with a sex change. It's like, damn.
Oh, my God.
That's him saying Haitians eating cats and dogs, bro. I mean,
they don't eat dogs. We know that. They eat cats.
Definitely
cats. They admit to it. They eat cats.
I mean, if you have Chinese food, you've definitely ate a cat. You've had
at least a pigeon.
But honestly, like, I feel like things like that, for me, is like gaslighting, all right? Because I feel like a majority of the situations is not really like that. I feel like, for example, when you talk about like having healthcare rights for that community, that all comes into play. Like, it's not like I'm transgender and I'm 16 years old.
Congratulations.
No. It's not like I could go right now and say, all right, I want a transgender, I want a sex change right now. No, like, that's what the therapy is, right? So they go, there's communication there, parents are involved, they're talking. I mean, some parents, I guess, aren't involved, you know what I'm saying? But
some states, they want to make it that it's like New York State, for example. This Proposition 1 in its wording and its openness, you could add this plus this equals this, and I don't have to tell you because of these words that are in here. So the child is protected from knowing that, they're going to have this surgery, and they're protected to have that surgery. I don't know if you have kids, but that's a dub. I have a kid, so I have the right.
I have three.
And I think that's what everybody says it. You mess with my kids, that's how you're gonna get.
You're outside of pocket.
And I think that put that red light on people's heads.
You're out of pocket.
Man, I can't.
You're out of pocket, son.
I don't even want to mess with that. Mm-hmm. I think
you're messing with my money. You got my freedom with this Constitution thing. I have to take you take my money in taxes. You know what I'm saying? I have to behave and act according as a model citizen. I'm doing all these things, most of it outside of my will, because I'm part of this nation. And now you're going to touch my kid? You're out of pocket.
You know what's funny? You see a lot of gay people. I'm noticing on TikTok more and more. I follow gay TikTok. That these gay people are like, listen, we fought for our rights and we got them and we're happy. But now they're roping us in with this transgender stuff that we don't necessarily agree with. And now they're looking back at us like you guys have started it, and we're like, we have nothing to do with it.
We had nothing to do with this. Yeah. And I think
every form of oppression has a drawback, a kickback, a fallback, right? So when civil rights had their moment, there were people out there saying crazy rhetoric like, if they get their rights, what is it going to do for you? It's going to destroy America if blacks get their rights.
I mean,
if women get their rights. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering, but I think that on the reality of the situation is that community is affected far more negatively by what people are against, as opposed to like what they think is really happening. Like, for example, I had this conversation with friends in my garage, and we joke about it all the time. I'm like, tell me a gay person that you know ain't gay no more.
I can name you 4.
Can you?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, I would be very shocked.
There's one right there.
Like but if somebody whisper. But like,
I actually know a few people that went out gay, and I know of one person that had a sex change and regretted it. Look, I
know one that's like that.
It's about children, and I'm gonna bring you a narrative, and this should be very familiar. There was a time when your ass got beat as a kid. Your ass got beat, and your neighbors were like, "Must have did some shit." And then in like the 2000s, it was like, "Don't hit your kids." Yeah. They'll cry and they'll call CPS, Children's Service, ASPCA. And your ass is locked up. Hold on, keep that mindset. Keep that mindset.
It's there.
Now add this transgender thing.
I am what?
I feel like a girl. Don't tell your child that he's not a girl.
That's child abuse.
That's child abuse. You're gonna get locked up. You see how far they're taking it?
Not really, because I don't see it.
Democrats.
I don't see it. No, but I'm not a Democrat. But I am, I guess.
You're registered, bro.
But I just feel like the reality is not. Like, that's all fear mongering, bro.
You see how it was good when it came to beating the kids?
No, I get it.
You don't think
there's
it was
a better way, bro?
You don't
there's
think
absolutely just all right. So just because we got beat doesn't mean that was the best.
No, but
way
like calling
our
it out.
do things.
But calling it out. Before it was you got beat. Nobody said anything. Now it became you beat your kid. Excuse me, your neighbor just told us you were beating your kid. You're gonna get locked up.
Actually, when we were younger, other people used to get my ass.
Yeah.
Other people would smack you in the head. Go home.
I got hit by a teacher. I got slapped by a teacher in the face before.
So if you agree with that narrative, like
back when America was great,
we should look out for children that are getting abused, and you should snitch the parent out, not knowing anything that's going on in the house.
Yeah.
Kid got beat, call the cops, parent gets arrested. Now take that whole mindset and apply it to this transgender situation. That's nobody's business.
In what way? So give me. So you just described the situation,
right? So the kid goes to school again. Kid goes to school. Mommy hit me. Mommy get locked up.
No, I'm talking about transgender wise. Give me a situation.
Let's remember that though.
Okay, I got it.
We were
I got
cool with that one.
I got it.
So now let's move to this. Now let's move the same mindset into kid goes to school. I feel I'm a boy, but I feel like a girl. Okay, you're definitely gonna be a girl, and we're gonna take care of you, and you don't have to tell your parent, and we're gonna get you surgery, we're gonna get you hormones, we're gonna get you started,
and if your parents say no,
but is that happening?
And if you're
because I
not only that, but to that point, if your parent says no, we're gonna have to send child services.
Yeah, I see that.
Remove
they just remove the parent.
But where's the context in there? Hold on, there's some context missing from this conversation.
Actually, the one I'm talking about has nothing to do with surgery either. It's just that she wanted to be known as a boy, and the father was like, "You're my daughter." That was enough for them to be like, "We're taking the daughter away from you."
And they took the child.
And they took the child. So I don't know that story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment on that particular story. So I would definitely, if you want to send that to me later, whatever, we could talk about.
I'm lying.
This
I'm just joking.
That's true. Is it true?
That's true.
Okay, all right. So just whatever. I just want to read it. Just because I sometimes I hear these stories from people and like I feel like there's missing context, and then when I go read it, I'm like, yo, y'all didn't say that part though. Y'all didn't say this part. So like for a situation like that, I would think that situation is probably like, do you know the age of the kid?
No, I don't.
All right, so let's just make
16 is your favorite age, right? That's what you said last time.
Let's go.
That's the consent in Rhode Island.
All right, let's go with 14. Let's go with 14, right? Let's go with 14. For the sake of this conversation, let's say the 14-year-old came to the school and he's like, "Look, I'm feeling this. I feel like this is what I am. I want to tell my parents, but they're not going to be accepting of me." You know what I'm saying? Like whether he beats me, I don't know what the situation is at home, right? Who knows? But he clearly doesn't feel comfortable telling mommy and dad.
Yeah.
So he tells somebody at the school. the school, I think their job is to make it a safe place for the child. Like that's a big part of a school. Because honestly, I worked in a school and I've seen situations where 220 came and it was time to go home, and kids would cry that their parents were picking them up because the best part of their day was being in school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important for a school to have a safe space for a kid. So if a kid feels safe enough to go to a guidance counselor and be like, look, I know you're not going to judge me. I feel safe with you. I don't feel safe at home with this information. I don't want them to know. All right, cool. Man, maybe I'm not a professional in this. I'm your teacher. I'm this. I'm not a professional, but maybe we have a counselor who can talk to you and there's some help. I don't think that's going to be like, all right, we're going to get you surgery right now. No, it's maybe and that's, you mentioned the therapy before. That's a big part of it. So that therapy is being denied for millions of people in that community in states all across America.
Wait, like counseling?
Yeah, that's all.
Absolutely not. And it's something that in this state, for example, that I'm actually really fond of. And I grew up, like my first real jobs where I had a paycheck was dealing with social workers and psychologists at Hunter College. And one of the things is that, and these services are still available, and I agree with you 100%. In this scenario where the 14-year-old comes to school and they're expressing themselves to the therapist by law has to let that child know that anything that you tell me is private, unless it's harm for you,
correct,
to yourself or to others. So those services are already there. It's stepping the line when you're then with these laws and rules that are trying to get passed or that were passed in 7 different states. This Proposition 1, it's stepping the line when now you're acting like the parent and the guardian of that child. So that child,
and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to see where
is not in any danger. Mm-hmm. That child is not at risk.
That we know.
Child is not.
We don't know.
In this situation of them feeling like the opposite sex, or they want to be called something else. Mm-hmm. They're not in a physical danger. They're not. There's not. This is not a report of physical violent abuse. Mm-hmm. This is an identity issue. This is a private matter between that therapist and that child. Mm-hmm. The therapist doesn't have to tell the parent that your child is feeling this way. Okay. And when we talk about services, I feel that the services should be expanded where that child can feel welcome, be able to express themselves freely without persecution, and that those services should be expanded further where that child can then find ways to be able to address their parent, be able to make that transition, but it has to be on the child, right? The child doesn't want the psychologist or the counselor to snitch on me. I don't want you to tell my parent because now I'm gonna really be in trouble when I get home. So to me, it's like that. These are the things that when I say that the government needs to stay in its lane when it comes to children, in my opinion, the role of the government should be to provide services in these issues, not decision making in these issues. They shouldn't be playing the hand of God between the child and the parent. That is a sacred bond between the child and the parent, unless it's physically hurting, sexually hurting, mentally abusing. And in that mental abusing part, it has to be really definitive. Whereas the services that are provided should be more support, more counseling, more therapy, support groups, allowing that kid to see that there's other programs available to you. This isn't the end of the road. You don't know how you might feel, or here's a group of people that you could join that are in the same plateau, the same group that you are, that you could feel comfortable in, and supporting that. And this could be all outside of the privy of the parent. The parent doesn't have to know about this until that child is ready. But to step out of line and then offer and act like the guardian, and then to subtract the parent and take them away, it's breaking families. It's breaking communities.
I hear what you're saying. I haven't seen that happen. I'm not seeing that happen. I hear the worry of it. I hear the fearfulness of it and the scary part of it. But I haven't physically seen that with my eyes. I actually see the other side of it.
I think they talked about it in What's a Woman, the documentary, right? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I think they went over that with the kid stuff.
Like, look, if my son was dealing with something and he's feeling a certain way and he doesn't feel comfortable with me knowing about it, I would hope that there would be a therapist, a professional that could get my child to the point where he can communicate it, right? Or that he that he's getting the support in school or in social groups where he can feel like, you know what, I'm able to cope with this and I'll deal with my dad when I'm ready to do it. But I'm given the tools to make that decision on my own when I'm ready to come out to my dad.
Let me ask you a question on this note, since we're talking about this. What do you think the odds are, right? Whether regardless if you're talking about kids, right? We're talking about kids and their relationships with their parents. What's more likely, right? Because it's going to go into my next point. If you're accepting of your child early, you've seen it, you know what I'm saying? You knew, maybe you didn't believe it, but you waited for them to be the one to say it. But you were accepting of them early as opposed to trying to steer them away from it, even if you think it, and then you just are against it. Which kid do you think ends up becoming the more happy kid? You know what I'm saying?
The one that doesn't commit suicide.
Well, which kid is more likely to be that kid? Probably the one who's feeling that he's accepted no matter what, you know.
I don't know, because I think, what I've seen, people that go through this path. So this is just things I've seen. A lot of people get kind of pushed or nudged into the direction that you're going to transition. They don't fully transition. They kind of just take pills and, do that stuff. Then later on in life, they're like, oh, no, I was just gay. I wasn't transgender. But I've did all this to my body already, and I can't go back.
But from everything that I'm hearing, from the research that I've, just read up on, not like whatever crazy papers or anything like that, but just things that I've read, the stories that I've read in terms of the procedure when it comes to any sex changes, there's a big process for that to happen.
Yeah, but I think
a lot of counseling.
I think state by state it changes. It's different.
I'm not sure what it is state by state.
Because there's no federal law. So it's literally state by state.
Let's just say the most liberal state. The most liberal state, I don't even think there's a process where it's like, because you want it, you're getting it like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
And if it is, I would like to know.
I have no idea the time frame.
But if it's not, is it fair that that's the conversation of something that doesn't really happen or that doesn't exist? That's overwhelming the conversation, the fear mongering over the actual reality or facts.
So what I think the red line is that parents don't want is saying 18. The age is 18. They make their own decisions after 18. Before that point, I make those decisions.
But for actual sex change.
Yeah. So like, if you want to be called he, her, I can't stop you. That's just words. But as far as any kind of medication or procedures, I'm in charge of that until they turn 18. And I think that's what most parents want to stand. But in some instances, states are stepping in and goes, no, that's abusive.
And to an extent, I can respect that. Number one, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist, like a mental, I don't have a degree in psychology. You know what I'm saying? So I can't determine. It's easy to say, all right, 18 is the standard age for everything, right? Like, whatever.
Yeah, we just talked about Rhode Island.
16
is one of the ages.
16.
So
age of consent.
I don't. Well, in terms of this and getting a sex change, I might be able to understand the idea that if somebody knew what they were from a young age and really understood and knew and went through therapy for years and made the parents understand this is what I am, that all right, at what age is it good for them, like to feel complete in themselves?
If it was me and I was 10 and I was like, yo, I'm a woman, I want to start now. I don't want to wait till I'm older. Because if this is who I believe I am,
I definitely think there should be a thing.
Yeah, there has to be some age.
Yeah, again, I don't know if it's 18 though. That's where I don't know.
It gotta be 18.
But I'm just saying,
you can't vote. You can't play
wait,
lotto.
But you pipe in at younger than that. You know what I'm saying? You smashing and you could make a baby a lot earlier than that. So I mean,
well, let me just finish what I'm saying, because I'm saying if I was 10 and I felt like that, I would want to start right away. When I turn 12, am I still gonna feel like that, or am I gonna regret it? Am I going to be like, oh, man, I was gay. I wasn't a woman. I felt like feminine.
Well, that's why I think there should be.
There has to be some sort of limit.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree.
I think, and again, we kind of got into the weeds because we were specifically talking about why people voted for Trump. And this was one of the red buttons.
It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic. And I agree with the fact that I think, especially in the minority group, you know what I'm saying? With minority groups, like whether it's in the black community, you know what I'm saying, or Hispanic community, being gay is a hot button topic. You know what I'm saying?
Gays are hot in Puerto Rico. What, you know, funny, we've had this conversation before. There's something about Hispanic communities. Let me speak for Puerto Ricans because I know them the most. We kind of joke about gay stuff, but if there was a guy that dressed like a woman, we kind of just let them rock. Nobody really ostracizes them.
But they make fun of them.
Oh yeah, we joke around with them, but they're our gay person. We kind of like leave them alone.
You're my gay.
No, that's our guy.
Don't mess with my gay.
That's Felipe. That's part of our.
Get your own gay.
We don't. You know, that's our gay guy. Don't mess with him. You know what I'm saying?
But all right, but that's still could be
within the
considered
group,
toxic,
we
right?
Kinda, but I mean, even with us here, we're not gay, but we kind of joke with each other.
Yeah. Okay.
We just keep that same level, even if they were transgender. We would do the same thing with them.
Facts.
But like, we get offended if somebody. I don't know if you remember Mariposa, the gay guy from
Everybody knows the Mariposa.
Yeah. So we loved him. He was he wasn't really transgender. He was just gay. But like, nobody made fun of him because he was gay. Mm-hmm. We actually liked him better because he was gay.
Way better gay. Way better gay.
You know? So and again, that's just our community. Mm-hmm. I think outside other communities, I mean, I've seen within white communities, some of them, they don't like that.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course. Yeah.
But then there's other white community, more liberal, they're kind of okay with it. And I think it's within different communities.
That's true. Well, I pinpoint specifically Hispanic and the black community just because, let's be real, hip-hop.
Yeah.
Hip-hop music.
But because I'm saying community, what I mean is that different parts of the country are going to feel different ways about it.
Facts.
And I just think there needs to be some sort of, at least like you said, a baseline, whether it be 18, 16, whatever.
But I don't think that should be, I think people should consider what professionals say.
Yeah.
Right? Don't just be like, well, it needs to be this. Like, we're not doctors. We don't know the psychology behind it.
But
like,
that's my argument about the Board of Education and the government. It's the Board of Education, not the Board of Sex Change or Sexual Identity.
Not yet. Wait till Elon Musk changes the name.
It's the Board of
Dodge. What is it? Something with Dodge.
It's the
Dodge
board.
the pussy.
It's the board. It's the Board of Education, not the Board of Sexual Identity.
Yeah, but
I sent my kid to school
with the scientists. They haven't decided yet because I just seen a big change that they're saying that they recommended one thing and they're like, now that we've seen the process, we're kind of pulling back a little bit. We might have pushed too far. So I think that's still up in the air. That's why there's no definitive answer yet. You know,
and I respect them because it's something new, right? Like in terms of like the drastic change.
Who was in policy? Who's currently the Department of Education?
I have no idea.
I mean, ever since Biden came in, I'm not sure.
It's funny because when people mention, oh, she's going to do this or he's going to do that, I'm like, who's doing it now? You don't care now about the guy. Why are you worried about the next guy? Right?
Ooh.
But
was that supposed to hurt my feelings? No.
Yeah.
No. but that was a good point.
But even with the age of consent, like we all agree, probably 18. America's not only 18.
Actually, Rhode Island's 14, I think.
Different states have different ages of consent. But we all agree it's 18. It's still like we all know, hey, that don't cross that line.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But I think that's going to come down to the transgender thing. We'll kind of be like, we all know it should be this age. But if a kid's 16 and he's confident that that's what he wants, I think some people would just be like, if the parent's okay with it, let it go.
And the other thing is that I made a bet last week and I regret it. I can't take it back.
Yeah.
I put $10 on Tyson. I can't take those $10 back.
That was a bad bet.
That was a bad bet. Another one I knew was gonna happen, bro. Oh man,
I can't take those $10 back.
Yeah. So imagine if you cut it off.
Imagine if I cut it off.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
I'm 43 years old.
That's not a good analogy.
If you cut it off, would you keep it?
That's not a fair analogy.
In a jar?
In a
Yeah.
jar. I would keep it too, probably.
That's not a fair analogy, bro.
How is it
not a fair
not?
analogy. It's not.
Well, man, you can't go back.
No, but what
I'm trying to say, I can't go back on the $10. Imagine my
so you
sexuality.
But you can't get you can't get your youth back either, right? So you don't know the years of damage you could be causing a person by denying them something that they truly feel that they need.
Are you going to really measure the few years of adolescence compared to the rest of my life?
Don't cut it off. Just keep it and just get a boob
But
job.
then again, how many kids don't even make it to their rest of their life because they end up committing suicide?
That's a mental support issue that the schools should be investing money in, not this fugazi deciding.
But what if the mental support issue leads to them even
when they're
even
18
feeling more that they need to do it?
Then they'll be more prepared when they're 18 to make that decision. They'll be more supported. They'll be more stable. They'll have more time to think about the decision, and it is your body, so you can do whatever you want.
Damn, Dad, you forced me to be a woman for 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know. You forced that. So a kid might think that you forced them into a sexuality that they didn't want to be, and who knows what kind of damage that could.
Again,
that could
the science is not definitive yet, and
It's
I
not.
think we're going back and forth. We can do this forever.
Yeah,
We can't.
I have a cousin
Which is
that
why it's a hot
I had a
topic.
cousin, and I'll close it off here if you guys want. I had a cousin who her daughter, she's very democratic. Like she makes signs. She goes outside. Love her. We're polar opposites. She thinks I'm a Trump worshiper, and I'm not even a party affiliate, right? And she was like, we're talking about her daughter, and she's like, I think she's gonna be lesbian. I don't know, but I don't talk to her. I just keep, I'm there to support her. I'm there to, I love her. And I was like, just don't pay any mind to it. Love her, support her, be, her mother, guide her.
Yeah, let her be what she wants to be,
But don't feed that. You know what I mean? Hear her if she wants. Like, let her be the person to come out. Let her talk about it. Let her be the person to reciprocate. And
What did she want to do?
Her mother was worried that not worried, but her mother was like, I think she's going to be a lesbian. I don't know. And I don't want to talk to her about it. It's an iffy thing. I was like, listen, she'll figure it out. You know what I mean? She has the counseling because she gets the services in school. And I was like, yeah, don't push it. Just leave it the way it is. Her girl, all of a sudden, she's blossoming. She's putting makeup on. And my cousin goes to me and she's like, oh, she's into guys. Her mother's like, obviously, she's happy. Like, she's talking about guys. And now she's like, I'm a little bit worried now more. I was like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, you see, you didn't feed into it. You showed her that you were there whenever she was ready to talk. And then you moved accordingly.
That's what should be done. Yeah. Just give them a safe space.
And
give them a safe space.
That's my perspective of what the school and the government should be doing.
Yo, but it's sad because a lot of homes aren't like that, man. A lot of homes are not like that.
But the schools and the government should be, especially if we're paying into it.
Well, we'll see what Low and Bober does to the Board of Education. So real quick, let's go. Let's move on. What do you think the next 4 years are going to look like?
Drastically different.
That's definitely right. I agree with that 100%.
But how different?
Let's just start with immigration. Let's see what happens with that. If he's going to do what he says he's going to do, that's going to be wild, bro. That's going to be wild. Like, where's the money going to come from?
He's planning to give raises to all the Border Patrol agents. He's planning to bring more funding to Border Patrol agents.
Shoot to kill orders.
This guy. Damn. Empower the ICE department. And yeah, he says mass deportation. I don't see it. Yeah. I think that he's going to catch them as they can, like that delivery guy that went to the Navy Yard over here in Fort Hamilton, and he got arrested because he was an immigrant. They detained him. Remember that story? He's delivering pizza. He was delivering pizza. This is 2020 when Trump was running. The guy was delivering pizza, and he brought the pizza, and the military soldier was like, "Oh, you don't got a
ID?
You don't got papers?" And they detained him.
And they sent him away?
He's gone?
The family was waiting all night. They're like, where the hell is Bobby? He's delivering pizza. He never showed up.
All right. Do you think this is a sad story? Just to piggyback off of what we're talking about right now. So let's say you're an illegal immigrant. You have your child here.
Illegal.
Yeah. Whatever. You have your child here.
I'm a criminal. I have my child here.
But your child is American citizen.
Yeah.
Been here 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. He's a grown-ass man. He's known nothing but this country.
And you're like 70 at this point.
Well, forget that. Now we might get to a spot where that kid who's technically a citizen could be deported.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna.
So
if you went according to what he says he wants to do.
Yeah, but remember he does things. The same thing with the tariffs. He does it like because we're not the only ones listening. Mm-hmm. The world is listening, so he has to say things a certain way so everybody can believe it. So when he's talking to me and you, he knows the Mexican immigrants are listening. Like, oh shoot, we can't cross. They're gonna kick us out.
I don't see.
We're not gonna have this anchor baby in there. Let's just stay here. I don't know if you heard about the caravan. It went in half. Well, you the one that told me. Somebody told me.
What do you mean?
There was a caravan coming to America. When Trump won,
Uh-huh.
half of them turned around, went back the other way. They're like, we're not going to go to America.
Good. Thank God.
Let me ask you a question.
Ugh, they don't wear shoes. Ugh.
Yeah.
This is gonna.
Sticky.
This might be a hot one.
That's funny.
I don't think that there's an invasion or a crisis
At the border?
in the border.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a migrant crime wave, which is a term that Trump created, and he takes full credit for creating that term.
Well, I mean, the Democrats don't call them illegals.
They call them migrants, yeah.
They're migrants.
Mm.
So technically,
They forget the little word illegal.
Why,
So it's
why were they sent here in the first place?
sent.
Sent.
Yeah, I mean,
Who sent them?
I mean, remember Texas when they sent all those immigrants?
They're
Oh, they sent them to New York, you saying?
Yeah.
Oh, they said because so New York could feel the pain.
yeah.
Did they need to do that?
Yeah.
They really?
Because
Absolutely.
So basically, what it was this. Hold
Because
on.
they couldn't deal with them in Texas. They
So
didn't
in
have the space.
Texas was
in
like Texas, the state was like, we want to build a wall. Biden was a president. Biden's like, that's a federal line. You cannot build on that.
Mhm.
The federal government has to pay for it. Texas is like, all right, we want it. Biden's like, we're not going to build it. So they're like, all right, they're coming over. You know, you got sanctuary cities. Take them then, so we can show you what we're feeling.
But were they feeling it though?
I mean, we're feeling it now. As soon
Well,
as they sent
we're
a few
New York
buses.
City. We're a very dense, populated
Yeah.
area. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but we're still feeling it.
Yeah,
Imagine
but
them that they're not dense.
But they didn't exactly. They didn't need to do it, but they did it anyway, just to play politics.
I mean, think
with
about
people's
think
lives.
about the people they sent out. Not only is New York feeling it, Chicago's feeling it.
We keep forgetting
Florida's
the
feeling
word illegal. And that's my problem with the Democrats.
people can't be illegal.
They're illegal people.
seeking asylum.
All of those people
Well, that's a
seeking
good
asylum.
that's a good trick. Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to.
yeah.
But
trying
that's why we have this thing called laws,
Mhm.
and you enter through the port of entry and you apply for
Not
asylum.
all these people can make it.
Well,
to
remember,
the,
they
to the
have-
port of entries.
they-
But they made it here.
I think
Yeah,
I
but
think it was
it's a
Biden
big
made it
country,
easier
and-
for them to do that, right?
No.
It doesn't
To-
matter.
Not at all.
It doesn't matter. They're
Boston.
illegal. You broke the law coming in. Listen, you saw the video of the illegal immigrants getting interviewed about the border that were already on this side. You know what they said? Lock the border. Even they recognize.
Close the door behind me.
Close the door.
I'm here. I got it.
Stop the wave.
Forget about everyone else. There's not going to be enough money for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like even they recognize that this is a huge issue with.
Or they're just pandering.
It's a huge issue. Listen, if you
voted for Trump.
stuff
Ooh, I got a funny story for you.
you stuff this room with 15 more people, how much camera time you think you're gonna get?
See, but that's the illusion to make it seem like we don't have space or we don't have opportunity and we don't have money. We have the abundance of everything to
Then
make
why
it
are there
possible.
homeless people?
Oh, that's a whole other subject. I mean, there's
Why
mental
are
health.
veterans?
You're right.
Why are
I mean,
veterans homeless?
Politics, right? But I just
But
said.
why are they
even
coming
the
here instead of
immigrant-
anywhere else?
Why
they
are
not
they
stopping-
coming here
Why
instead
are they
of
not
going
stopping in
somewhere
Mexico?
else?
Like, you don't have to chill here.
Because we're the one welcoming. That's the American way, right?
And I think that's what Trump's trying to stop. He's like,
Uh-huh.
"Don't- we're not
I
going to
mean-
welcome him anymore.
That's not the American.
well, he's not going to welcome Latins anymore. Any other place.
I mean-
you come from Ukraine, you could come
Here's the thing. That's not the
You
American
come
way.
from Sweden, you could come
But that's
here.
not the
I'm okay with
American
that.
way. That's not the American way. That's the American history. The American way now is not what we did back then. We're not moving like we move. When you say the American way, to me, it was. That's not the current way. That's the way when we were a starting country. Yeah, people were coming in.
Yeah,
that
we
was
needed
the
people.
way. But that's not who we are anymore. We have to protect what's ours.
I think he's right though. We should only let the white people in. Is that what you want?
I mean, that's what happens, though. We're not saying nothing about the Russians that come in here illegally. We don't say nothing about the Asians. Well, they don't right now. They don't say nothing about
Asians come through.
Asians come
They've been
through.
coming through the border.
Hell yeah, they come through. But I'm saying like we're only targeting Latin.
I think that's just
I don't know.
like
I think it's
the
just a conversation. I don't think
and the fact that Mexico is like the one that gets stuck
because
with
a lot of the Asians that do
filtration
come
of all
through
this.
Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just Mexico just happened. If it was China, we would have been all calling them Chinese, right? You know what I mean? If it was China that was on the other side of the border,
I personally think there's something a little more insidious to it because if you listen to certain right wing circles and they talk about white replacement theory and all that stuff, I mean,
there's
that's their words.
there's extremists on both sides, but to me, it's very clear that the Democrats. I want to go back to that other point where I've never been a party person, but I always felt like the president running, really cared about the country. Really, at the end of the day, really cared about his own family and the future of his own kids, his legacy. That's the true legacy to me.
That's beautiful.
But ever since Obama's second term and then Biden and the last 8 years, I really feel like those people that they put in play really don't care about this country. They don't care about the future of the country because
I think it's always been there.
Do you think Trump cares about the future of this country?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Maybe to a fault where it looks racist, it looks division, it looks too orange, whatever you want to call it. But I believe he does care about the country.
In his way, I don't deny that. I think in his way.
But in his way, it means his children, and his children can't have it good if
His white baby.
his kids can't have it good if the country's shitty.
I mean, according to him, it's shitty now, and they have it great.
Yeah,
Shithole countries.
shithole
countries, bro.
According to him,
Puerto Rico.
right? Yeah, some people. But again, to continue that legacy of okay, his kids are going great, but if it goes all to shits because we're in war, what good is his kids being rich?
He's good. They got friends in Russia. They're all good.
That's another narrative.
But is there not truth to it, though?
No, that was Hillary Clinton that did all that.
Did what? Uh-oh.
Russia.
Listen, let's go back to the immigrant thing.
So, right. So
Because we're going to go into another...
With the immigrant thing, listen, America spoke. They see the problem. Texas did nothing wrong by transferring all those people here, and they sucked the lifeblood.
What did you just say? You said America sees the problem. How do they see the problem? I don't think it's because they're seeing it on the street. I think it's because they're seeing it on TV. I'll give you an example. The migrant crisis. Well, we see the migrants in history, of course. But listen,
I just see them right by my house too. I see them by my house now.
And why is it that Adams discontinued the $3,000 debit card for them the minute Trump became in office?
Because he's
a hypocrite.
He's pandering.
He's trying not to go to
pandering
jail.
to Trump.
He's
like, yo, Trump, listen, I need you to get this case off my back.
He went and shook his hand at the UFC.
Come on, bro. He's pandering dumb hard, bro. He knows that's his lifeline right now.
Yeah.
He knows
Remember,
that's his
he's
lifeline.
fighting a case.
Trump already said something about it before this even happened. Before he became president, he was
about
saying,
the mayor.
Yeah, he was like,
But you really
they're
thought
coming after him, and it's not fair what they're doing to him. Something like that. I was
Let's
like, oh,
go.
Yeah, Trump
the mayor was like, oh, let's go. The only guy back.
Yeah, Trump is backing him.
He's like, I'm racist.
Of course.
Can't black
You
men out of
really
jail
thought
every
it
day.
was fair that an illegal, someone who committed a crime by coming into this country illegally, so like broke into your house and it was perfectly fine. You think it's okay for him to take money out of your wallet?
Of course not.
So why are you
Lock him
voting
up.
for that side?
What do you mean?
Why are you entertaining the Democrats?
Because I know that one person doesn't represent the whole.
They all got $3,000 debit cards.
Oh, you talking about the debit cards that they got?
Yeah, in New York City.
We were
they all got money.
talking about figuring out a way how we're gonna get that $3,000.
I know.
I thought he was talking about for real.
We were talking about going to the border, crossing it with no papers. Like, where's that debit card? Like, make that make sense.
I mean, listen, our politics is our politics, bro.
But I think what he's saying is basically why people are like they looked at Trump the second time. They're like, we're sick of that. We don't want to hear that. We know, like you said, they're breaking in technically. Then we're giving them money that I'm not getting, and I'm struggling. I've been struggling for years. All of a sudden, they're getting a free ride over here.
Struggling, bro.
But when it matters, when these issues matter, right? These policy issues that matter, that can change these things, that'll affect Americans. We're silent, bro. We're silent when the people who are chasing these things, when it matters the most, people are not involved in politics. So they complain, right? That's like, I feel like that's the thing. We complain about politics, but you're not a part of it. So like, why are you complaining?
Right. Those people that say I didn't vote.
All right, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What should we do with the immigrants that are here now?
What should we do?
The illegal ones.
Listen, I don't have an answer.
Get him out of here.
I don't have an answer.
If you had
for
Trump's ear, what would you tell him?
Ooh, that's a good question.
that. If I had Trump's ear,
He's like, just give me a suggestion.
I already got my answer. Go.
You can't shoot them. All right.
Nothing here. No.
This was America.
First of all, I can't even fight, bro. That shit is crazy.
okay, so all right, it's not going to be popular. It's not going to be popular, but I would say, hey, maybe we should stop destabilizing the countries that these people come from. You know what I'm saying? How about we look more into the root factor of why they're leaving their countries to come to America, as opposed to we got to stop them. We're maybe causing some of the issues that they have. Maybe they have socialism in that country and we don't like it, so we have to stop that. We have to get people in office that actually want democracy, but then those guys get in and they're corrupt as hell, and then we force them out, and then it's just like their country falls to shit, their economy falls to shit, and these people have nowhere to go, and they run to a place that they're saying, yo, you come here, we got you. And yeah, there's politics that we need to fix things. We need to fix, but honestly, if I could have and I don't know if they all know this. All politicians know this. They know what we're doing across seas, and it's for the benefit of whether it's oil, whether it's natural resources. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but I feel like it's almost like with the Black Lives Matter shit, right? Like if you don't touch the root cause of something, you're never gonna get a solution. Yeah. You're never gonna get a real lasting solution. You're just putting band-aids on.
But that already happened, right? We already destabilized those countries. Mm-hmm. How would we fix that now?
Mind our business. I mean, in terms of what we could do now with the migrants that we have here.
You think our foreign policy should be like, let's just take a step back and let them do their
Not for everything, because obviously, like, I mean, some countries need help. You know what I'm saying? But taking advantage of countries and then not like, for example, I know you're big with the whole movement, or maybe you are. I'm not sure, with the Puerto Rico trying to get independent and stuff like that. Like, I'm of the mindset that I personally don't think America would let Puerto Rico get that independence.
I don't think so either.
You know, as much as a beautiful thing as it sounds, I don't think they have too much to lose.
Well, maybe with Trump, he might be like, get out of here.
Maybe.
Push that island of garbage away.
Maybe, but then if they fail, it's like, yo, I'm not going to be your lifeboat. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he would do. But I think that goes across the board. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I feel like there's root issues. We don't tackle it. We're just putting band-aids on things. Democrats are great at putting band-aids on shit. Great at it. And that's why I don't like them. You know what I'm saying?
What do you do with the illegal immigrants that are here now?
That's an issue. Honestly, like,
you let them stay.
You can't shoot them.
You let them stay.
Do I let them stay? I would definitely think we should do a better vetting process, make it a little bit more speedy. You know what I'm saying? There should be something that we're doing a little bit faster.
And you know who's going to pay for that?
Who's going to pay for it? I mean,
you and me.
Lower Bobert. We'll take it
out.
But
who's going to pay for it? You're asking to speed the process. You need more lawyers. You need more judges. You need more courthouses. You need more bailiffs. You need more security. You need more.
But how come when it's issues that are very deep and deeply rooted in whatever the fuck United States does messed up, money is always an issue. But for other random things, so like we need new weapons, or like, you know what I'm saying, like we managed to pull money out of the ass, bro. America stay doing that. Like we scare people. How can we afford to do this? Like when Bernie was running, Bernie, great ideas. How can we afford to do it? How can we afford to do it? All of a sudden Trump comes in. It's just like Republicans are getting blank shit check. Done. Yeah. You know, blank check for everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm sure creatively we could figure out a way to get. But if people honestly would have to have the mindset of really trying to find a solution, and I don't think either side really wants to find a solution.
I got the solution.
Well, no, you're gonna shoot people. Don't give people. If you're listening, government, don't give them a gun.
No, I think you should just leave them here. If they commit a crime, like remember we talked about this.
Yeah, if they
commit 10 years. If you commit a crime, you get arrested. We'll ship you right out. We're not going to look for you.
We're on probation for how many months?
Yeah.
I mean, for how many? Well, 8
for a year and a half?
Yeah. I mean, it was short.
I'm just saying, if you get in trouble in these next 10 years, you're out.
Here's another thing about
if you get a degree, a college degree, automatic citizenship.
Here's the other thing.
You become a viable, you know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying, you give them 10 years. Yeah, you're here for 10 years. After a certain point, it's like, all right, you're here.
So that's your idea. The ones that are here, let them stay. And
yeah, because it's going to cost so much to try to get them for all the process.
It's going to cost them to get rid of them.
If we're arresting people anyway for committing crimes,
expedite it.
We'll catch them at that point. We're not looking for them. We'll just catch them.
So when it comes to and then maybe asylum seekers, right? Mm-hmm. Asylum seekers automatically get a visa with certain countries that are at war at certain situations. I ran into one processing a home health aid, and she brought this her documentation, and she had to bring document from her lawyer that she's reapplying for her sanctuary. Mm-hmm. Like those people, there are certain people in certain countries that it's automatic. This country knows that they're going through certain things. Those people are expedited. Mm-hmm. So when people, I'm not saying that you're doing this, but when people throw the word, they're seeking asylum. Mm-hmm. No, that word is applied to individuals that are coming from countries.
Definitely not everybody. Yeah, definitely not.
But the amount of countries that are going through that, mm-hmm. that are qualified as asylum, mm-hmm. is minuscule compared to the numbers. It's so ridiculous. You could Google it. It's ridiculous. The amount of people.
But even the process to become a legal citizen, outside of asylum seeking, just the process to become.
There is no process.
It's gotten more archaic, right? So like even Biden didn't really make things better. What was that thing that Trump put into place?
Apply over there.
What was the policy?
Stay in Mexico.
No, matter of fact, I think I got the name of it right here. Hold on a second.
Like the process is you're in your country and you apply from your country and you apply. You wait for your application to come through. You put the money, you find your broker. I went to Colombia and there was like this whole office. People like, it's like 300,000 pesos. I'm like, oh my God, how much is that? It's like $25. Like, yeah. And I'm just like, I'm like, okay,
He was
so
trying
the
to bring home a
process
woman
is
from Colombia. Claim asylum. It's cheaper.
She didn't want to come. So the process is over there. What's happening here is ridiculous. I agree with what Noel says. What I think should happen is with the people that are already here, they're already here. It's going to cost way too much. Then what do you do with the kids that are born here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
that's going to be crazy.
It's a lot.
I don't know, bro. Title 42 was the thing I was talking about.
If they're born here, they're born here. I feel like just let them live. Yeah.
Let them live, give the people, the ones that are seeking asylum, give everyone a work visa, give them a social security number, have them start paying taxes. With that, we could, keep track of them. They'll have IDs and they'll be held accountable to their citizen status. Make it a temporary thing. Instead of doing this whole vetting and the whole processing thing, everyone gets a work visa. You all have social security numbers tied to this. Act around and find out. The minute you build a criminal record or something offensive, you're out of here. Yeah. Sign this contract. If not, then we're coming after you now,
bro. But these are like, for example,
you're not leaving his office.
You're not. Sign here. There is no other option.
Yeah.
You either play the citizen temporarily on a probation period, like we all do with jobs. You're on probation for 6 years, whatever it is. Here's your ID. Here's your social. Here's the thing. Welcome to America. Raise your right hand. Swear to the
Say a pledge of allegiance. No accent. Go.
Yo, but look at what we just did here, right? Like in this short amount of time, having this honest conversation about what could be done.
Yeah.
I don't think it happens like that in reality with the politicians that we have.
Which is why I agree with Trump. And
I was about to say, I think with Trump it does happen like that.
Because he's getting rid of the red tape. He's getting rid of all this. He wants to break apart.
But he's going on the extreme of the conversation. He's not listening to you, me, or you. He's just taking a whole nother approach that, will affect millions of people. It's not going to just affect like bro, there's going to be workers. There's going to be bosses, right? There's going to be CEOs that maybe a guy who has a company who's running his company on the immigrants that he has, whether they're undocumented or not. And now he's about to lose this work. What? He's not going to be able to pay. I think there's going to be a lot of people. Not only is that employer,
that business owner going to lose his employees, he's also going to be paying a fine and potentially going to jail. Because you know what he's doing? Mm-hmm. He's not paying his taxes.
And also, he's paying people less than what they should be paid.
That's abuse.
Bro, but all I'm saying is that there's going to, if it happens the way that I think it could happen, there's going to be a lot of people affected that just not only immigrants. You know what I'm saying? I think families of immigrants, the same thing with the whole thing with Palestine and the Gaza war and all that stuff. There's a lot of Palestinians who live here who's, family members, brothers, sisters, uncles, and are dying over there, and they just have to sit here and watch while we say there's nothing really happening. There's no genocide happening over there. Yeah, like come on. There's definitely going to be people affected. Let's just say for example, even with Trump going into office now, you asked about the 4 years. I didn't mean to like change the subject, but I also kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. But
about the Gaza?
Because the 4 years is important, right? Like this is going to be a big part of it, right? Because people think, look what Biden's doing. It's genocide. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
What Trump is going to do. All right. So what is Trump going to do? Is it going to be any better? So my thing is like right now, Israel's solution is to wipe them out. If you did that, what about the millions of people who live here? Aren't you creating more hatred towards your people, towards Israeli, Jews? Like how does it benefit? Do
you think calling it a genocide is a hyperbole?
No.
You think
I think that's what's happening. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the literal definition,
the
genocide,
because
Palestinians, you mean?
Yeah, because what I've been seeing is that Israel's like, hey, we're gonna bomb this on Thursday because we know that they have a base there, so we're giving everybody an opportunity to get out.
Cool, but then so this is where you escape to, and we're gonna bomb those places. Yeah. While you're going there, we're gonna bomb it.
But how could it be genocide if there's Palestinians here?
Well, I mean,
I'm saying over there
in Gaza, not here.
Yeah.
Genocide over there.
But genocide is the erasure of a whole.
Well, they can't do it over here. It's not their country.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
can do it over
we're
there.
kind of
So
witnessing
it's
that
not genocide.
Yeah.
here. It's genocide over there.
But when I think about genocide, it's like there's no more chickens. We don't have chickens.
Yeah, but
That's
wait,
what's
hold on.
happening.
But then you
Bro,
would
they've reached over 100,000.
But there's
chickens.
Pass.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
But
Gobble, gobble.
hold on. Again, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
but wait, but you wouldn't call the
genocide-
Holocaust it either because they came to America and they were safe.
They came to America. They
They
tried.
seeked asylum.
America didn't want them.
And
America
they got
didn't
it
want
because they were.
It was a real war.
That was a real war. But what I'm saying is that
America, baby.
that was considered genocide because that was where a majority of, even then, right? You still had some Jews that lived in America at the time. So genocide to me is like what? It's like you get rid of fish. There's no more fish ever.
Well, do you think of like a systematic?
But that's what we're.
Yeah.
I mean, not only is it genocide, I think it's apartheid too. So
What he's saying, what they're doing is they're basically bombing homes because they're like, oh, there's a terrorist,
one terrorist in that one.
so we got to bomb that home. But in the home is whatever, it's a building and there's a whole bunch of other people. And it's like, we'll just wipe them all out. It's fine. We just gotta get that one guy.
And then going to what he's saying, they're saying, all right, so look, we're gonna bomb this day. Here's the safe zones. Get to the safe zone. Not only are they bombing the paths to the safe zones, they're bombing the safe zones.
They're like the terrorists in the safe zone now. We tricked them. They're there. Got them.
We got all of them to go there.
Yeah.
now we know where they are.
One of those guys.
And I think Democrats really, establishment Democrats, let me get that right. Establishment Democrats really forgetting the voice. Like, I'll give you an example. Michigan has a really big Arab community, right? Kamala lost Michigan, right? So they were progressive politicians who wanted to go over there and be like, yo, send me out there. I'm very popular with the Arab community. I can try to be a voice for Kamala.
I actually listened to a podcast where this guy was like, I reached out to the Democratic Party. I went in to speak at the convention.
That's what I'm talking about, probably.
Okay.
Probably who I'm talking about.
I forgot the guy's
his name too.
Yeah. Because he's not important.
Oh, no, he is important. I'm just having brain
The
fart.
topic
I
is not
actually
that
really like the group. Listen, bro. With Moreno with the glasses.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. The bald and he's,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, big guy.
yeah, he unfortunately didn't get reelected recently, but whatever. So he said, like, I was going to go out there for Kamala to be like, this is the reason why you need to go for her over him. And they didn't go with him. And instead, they sent Bill Clinton. You probably heard that.
Yeah.
They sent Bill Clinton and they sent Richie Torres from New York, right? He's I don't know if he's a senator or whatever, or governor, or he's just a rep. I think he's just a rep. And Clinton went on stage to the Arab community and said Israel was there first. You don't tell that to a Muslim person.
Got him. They're like, we're voting for Trump.
But that's
all we needed to hear.
Or they just didn't vote, right? So it's either they voted for Trump or they didn't vote at all.
Yeah, word.
And she lost Michigan.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yo, you did that.
And
you did that.
That was their one issue. That they were going to be one issue voters. That was their big issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like,
That's an easy win.
how do you not see the writing on the wall?
That's an easy win. And
how do you go
missed
into a
it.
Muslim community and don't hear their voice at all and say, well, y'all did it first.
Yeah.
And so
what
you
he
gotta
should have
deal
did
with
was
it.
like, look, we're trying to figure it out. But if she wins, we're gonna grab your representative and we're gonna bring him into our cabinet to help discuss this.
But what if you? Unfortunately, what I've seen over the past 2 years is Arab voices in mainstream media getting removed. They got rid of Mehdi Hassan, who was like a really big reporter on MSNBC.
Yeah.
He was one of the only big talking like guys who was speaking on the opposite end. You know what I'm saying? Because the Jewish end, the Israeli portion of this,
he has a podcast now too, right?
He has a I don't know if he has a podcast. He definitely has his own.
He has his own like show or something.
And website and his own network, because I think he's trying to form his own news network and it's doing pretty well. But he's still going on there on debates. But it's just like.
So they're getting rid of all the Arab voices.
They did.
So
during the beginning of this, when it first happened, October 7th,
they're systematically getting rid of all the terrorists. You're saying?
Oh gosh, that's a whole nother. When you hear terrorists, unfortunately, people associated with the Arab community. That's horrible, bro. That's horrible. Imagine what that's done for the psyche of the community itself here in America. You know what I'm saying? Or across the
isn't
world.
that self-inflicted?
Is it? Damn.
9/11 really.
So I mean, it's hard to say that when there's more. I feel like here in America,
though?
yeah,
We live together.
So
We're
terrorism didn't exist before.
We're a happy family. This house, you, me, and him. We're a happy, family. And I start walling out. I start murdering people. they're gonna come to everyone here and kill you guys too. Here's a better thing.
That's what Israel's doing.
Here's another thing. You guys are not gonna stop me. You guys are not gonna check me in the house we live in. You guys are not gonna do something about stopping this. What I'm doing.
So do you? The average life expectancy for a teenager, for not even a teenager, a adult in Gaza is like 18 years old.
But why aren't they doing something about it?
What are they supposed to do?
Something?
But they tried.
Yeah. No, but what they were supposed to do was before any of this started, because they let Hamas. Was it Hamas? They let Hamas take the elections and become the new de facto government.
Yeah,
They
but the
let that happen.
They let the people. If that happened years ago.
Yeah.
That happened years ago.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that ship has sailed.
They don't have no.
They're in there, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Israel literally controls all aspect of their lives. They control everything. They say that Hamas does, but no, Hamas, bro. That's like, how do you compare? What resources do they have? They really don't have the resources that. For example, with the attack that they did on October 7th, what the fuck were they fighting out there with? They had a couple of guns. They didn't have, bro. It's already been reported that a lot of those deaths were from the Israeli helicopters. Because they were like cars exploded and stuff like that. And it was just like, yo, they didn't have the weapons to do that. And it's already been reported, even by Israeli media, that. Yeah.
Here's another messed up question. Is it any of our business?
Yeah.
How?
So that's the libertarian position. It's like that's their
not
problem.
My
we shouldn't give
business,
anybody
bro, that's
no
not
guns,
my house.
Weapons.
That's the problem. That's the problem. We fund
Is
it.
it?
We fund it.
Well, that's why we shouldn't give them anything. I mean, me personally.
So we don't.
That's
we
not
can't,
our war.
we
It's none of our
can't, we
business.
can't financially handle this immigration problem, but we can afford to keep sending weapons of mass destruction
I think
to other countries to wipe out millions of people.
I think if America was smart, they'd be
That's
like,
why I don't care. Don't give me the money.
We'll keep giving you weapons to defend yourself, but you can't use it against them. You gotta stop that, because Israel's nothing without America. You know what I'm saying? So I think if America was like, look, we'll help you out because I know you're surrounded by
and
enemies.
that's how Trump is going to get this all to stop.
How? He doesn't care.
In my opinion, Trump is going to say, keep it up, and you ain't getting shit.
Yeah.
That's not what he's saying now.
He might do that with
He's not going to
That's
show
not what
his
he's saying
hand.
now.
You don't show your hand.
If he says that, I mean, I think a lot of people would support that.
Yeah.
Why do you think Vladimir came through? Mr. President, he's not president yet.
I mean, the Jewish community widely supported him.
He wants that money, baby.
They definitely didn't vote
Because Jews love money.
So
right?
Trump is
But
solving
that's
both
why. But
wars.
that's why Trump is not going to do it. Trump's going to be like, "Oh, you're giving me millions and millions of dollars."
What Trump is going to do is this: you guys
I would
want,
be shocked.
you guys want to keep relationships. Stop what you're doing, or you're going to be broke.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked because I think that there's so much other elements in terms of why America is supporting them.
How else do you do it?
I don't think America really gives a crap about the whole religious factor of it. I think it's all money and
Correct. So
having
you
a
kill two
position-
birds with one stone. You hit them where it hurts, the wallet. That's all that works, because that's what makes the world go round, in my opinion. And that's his strategy. Everyone's like, how's Trump? How do you think Trump's going to do it? Easy.
Money.
He's going to tell Vladimir, listen, I don't care what you got going with Putin and Putin with Vladimir, but if y'all both don't stop, you're going to be funded. You're going to be defunded, so he's going to take over. And if you mess around, Putin, I'm going to make sure that the tariffs and trade for you is going to be miserable.
I think the only
You're going to
way-
regret the day. And then with Israel, it was like, you know how much investments you have in my country. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
End this today, or you're not going to see any relations with the United States.
Ooh, if he does that, that'd be great.
But here's two ends to that, right? So on the Israeli front, and then on the Ukrainian thing. I think what the Israeli part is that it's really hard, especially with the people surrounding him and him as well, the amount of money that they take from the Israeli government to make sure that they are protected, to make sure that they continue the status quo of keeping shit the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm paying you $2 million, $3 million, $5 million to fund your campaign, remember me.
Yeah.
So when we go and you having that meeting with Trump, you're in Trump's ear, or even Trump, Trump, me and you, look, yeah, we don't really like each other, but I'm giving you bread. So just remember, Hamas, Gaza, they're not giving you money. I'm giving you money. So that's why I don't think it's gonna happen. If it does, bro, that'll be crazy. I'll be shocked.
Listen.
And on the Ukraine thing, I think that whole thing is what makes that difficult is because when you talk about the United Nations, how they say they're not really expanding, but they're expanding their territories and they're getting on to Russian land. You know what I'm saying? So like, how do you stop that? I guess Putin would be like, I'll stop if you stop encroaching my line.
Well, that was he said from the beginning.
That's what he's said. It's true. So now, and I guess that could happen now with Trump. I think Trump could actually stop that. I think because they're cool. They have their relationship.
Listen, money talks, bullshit walks. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why I don't think the Gaza shit is gonna stop because the money's talking.
I think we're just, we're just speculating. There's not much.
Of course, this is conversation.
I mean, right. So I think that's how he stops it. I think it should be stopped. I think the notion that fix your own house before you meddle into anybody else's house.
That's huge, bro.
But also, I think
it's a huge factor.
You've seen Trump move from right to center right.
Yep.
He's definitely shifted over
on certain policies.
And a lot of the people that he's surrounding him with were most of them were former Democrats.
RFK.
RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk. There's somebody else.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Did he put him in anything? I'll be surprised.
He interviewed him.
No, I know that.
No, not in any.
Oh, he didn't put him in any cap. No, he's not.
I like Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan would not.
He wouldn't do that.
Joe Rogan is chilling. Why
I like Joe Rogan. I don't care.
Joe Rogan's like actual work.
Nah, I'm good. I'll keep it right here. I like Joe Rogan though, man. He's a good interviewer.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good conversationalist.
Yes.
Yeah.
He says wild stuff. I don't agree with everything he says, but
And the other, and this has been said before, but 5 minutes before he was announced president-elect, he was Nazi Hitler, and then he's in the White House, And
now they're welcoming him in.
We'll see.
Welcome in, Hitler.
And that's why Trump said in the White House, he said, politics is very ugly. It's so ugly. And Biden looks so happy.
He's like, I'm done. I'm retiring, baby. I'm going to the Amazon. You saw?
And his wife has wore all red ever since.
Oh,
has she?
Yeah.
No,
she voted wearing red, full red outfit.
No, she didn't.
Yeah,
all red.
Oh my god,
all
so
red.
Hilarious, bro. Hilarious.
I mean, look. So that's the other thing, right? So let's say I don't know. I'm just a small guy that lives in Brooklyn.
You gotta. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'm just a small guy that lives in Brooklyn.
Traitor.
She was blue up until the end. I voted for Trump, obviously, and I feel like
what a cuck.
Wait, her or him?
He wants me to be his cuck.
Oh my god!
No, so I think that we're way better off, and I think this time around Trump has nothing to lose, right? Like he's out there. That's what people are afraid of. He has nothing to lose.
He has everything right now. Everything going.
That could be either a good thing or a really bad thing.
It could be either a good thing or really.
Only time will tell.
I really don't see.
Facts.
I don't see when I see his 7 foot tall freaking son.
Well, he's not president yet, so we'll see. He's not
looks
there
like
yet.
He could be.
He's lining him up. Yeah, he's lining.
He is lining the ducks up, though. Oh my gosh, we shall see what happens with that.
We'll see what the next 4 years.
Do you think that he survives?
I don't know if RFK survives.
RFK looks like he's holding his breath every time.
Right?
I see him,
Oh my gosh, bro! I think that's the only reason why
he's
he didn't.
holding a fart. This is one guy that I voted for right here. I wrote his name in.
Oh, you should post that. That's dope. You really did that?
I took a picture. Well, I didn't take a picture of it.
These nuts got a bunch, and look, you got one too. Oh gosh. RFK.
Do you remember
that voice, bro? His voice.
Do you remember in 2020, Simpsons predicted Trump's death?
They predicted a couple of things, bro.
It is.
He's holding his breath. My God, that's so scary.
Gosh, bro.
I'm the healthiest man in America.
Yo, but he is bro. He's ripped though, bro. That's how.
That's a good one. That's good.
He's ripped though, bro. I'm not gonna front. You see when he was benching the weights, I was like, yo, bro, I got some muscles on him. Dang.
Oops.
This is the one right here.
I'm gonna
bro.
Pepsi now.
Everyone with the McDonald's.
Take the floor right out.
Honestly, though, the Minister of Health, is that what they call him now? It's pretty good. Honestly.
Bro, he's huge. Look at oh my god.
Honestly, I don't know. What is he, 60, 70? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
That's really good.
I've been working out for a long time. Yo, you gotta struggle.
All right, so we covered the transgender and the school thing. Yeah. We covered the migration. Would you ever change your party?
You come back full circle to that. Full circle. I would change my party. Yeah, of course. Just not to Republican.
He doesn't. I don't think you would go full right conservative.
I can't. I'm not really conservative like on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I don't think I'm extreme either. I actually, to be honest with you, my thought process, I feel like I'm the new. You might think I'm totally off base. I feel like I'm the new moderate. My opinion.
You know what's funny? When I talk to him, sometimes we agree on a lot, and that's why Will looks at you like you're a freaking. You're a socialist, Bernie Sanders. He's the worst, bro. Will's like, bro,
Willie, what's a socialist? I don't know, but you're a socialist, bro. Get out of here, bro.
Will is pretty conservative.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you see that because you're so far on that end.
Right.
You know?
Meeting me for the first time, what do you think this guy is? Besides a hypocrite.
Captain Random, bro. It's Captain Random over here.
Would you ever change your party, or you're staying libertarian?
The thing with the libertarian, and I've said it before, the Libertarian Party is not really a real party per se.
Nobody knows you exist.
Yeah, it's not a real party per se. It's just, hey, we have similar ideologies. Let's join together.
And then do.
But the problem is, like I said, the Libertarian Party, the word liberal comes from it. You know what I'm saying? It was meant to be it's a classical liberal position. Mm-hmm. It's just that American politics took over and things started shifting over, actually more to the right. You know,
it would be nice that we can have more options than just two. Right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'd be happy with anybody else getting in there. I don't care what party. I don't care if it's Bernie. I don't care who it is. I want to see something different.
I think that if there is anything that should be happening, it should be a third party. We need to get that going.
Yeah.
I think that if anything happens in the next election, like if Trump if he loses support amongst his own base, I think that might be like the perfect time. For
so I think that they have something. Oh gosh, I just slipped my mind. I just had it in my head. Ranked choice voting.
Yes,
they have ranked choice voting. I think New York has started it.
That's good.
And I think when you go to the midterms, they're gonna have that as an option. So when they're gonna have like 3 or 4 people running for governor, you take your first place, your second place, your third place.
You like that?
I think that's a great idea. That's how you get third parties in there.
Yeah, and I just think we just need to do a better job of getting people on these ballots, bro. Yeah. You know, and like you said before, it takes community and
You're saying
involved.
for the purpose of getting a third party, ranked choice voting would be the easiest way to get
because then it forces people outside of these two dichotomies.
Correct.
You can't just be this or just that. Now you can have a different option. Like, I kind of like this idea and this idea.
Put them first, second, third.
So it gives people more variety of people to choose from.
I see.
It's more democratic.
I don't like.
It's more democratic.
I don't like ranked votes. I don't like that at all.
Because you're a conservative.
I just think it's retarded.
You just like your 2 choices and that's it.
No, I want a third. I for the purposes of getting a third party going, I can see that argument and I agree. Okay. But not as a system. Well, the system we have there's a reason for it and it works.
What system are you talking about?
Does it work?
Absolutely.
What system are you talking about?
2-party.
The whole voting system.
I'm talking about New York State voting system.
Oh, I was talking abroad.
Yeah, because you can't do that
abroad. Does it?
That's constitutional. There's nothing you can do about it.
But
that's how you pick your candidates in the state, and then you can elect them.
Right.
Then now you got to go to this different voting system.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I don't think it works because you have certain states where independents can't vote.
Yeah.
Because hence why not everybody in America
That's
votes.
why we need to get a third party in there.
All right, guys. Listen, one last question.
Fun.
If, let's just imagine this. Every time you walk to the toilet became sentient and can talk.
Uh-huh.
Would you rather it beg and moan for you to use it, or you rather be screaming agony every time you use it?
Why is the camera on me?
So would you rather walk up to the toilet and be like, yes, give it to me? Or would you rather sit on the toilet and be like, please stop, no?
What's your answer?
Yes,
because you've obviously thought of it. Bro. What's your answer?
I think the screaming will get annoying.
The screaming would get annoying.
Just so bad. I'm like, oh God.
But not the moaning.
I can kind of wash that out by playing on my phone or something. But the screaming is like, I can't hear what I'm doing.
What about you?
No comment. No comment.
Can you pick both? Like switch it up?
Wow. There goes the answer. Switch it up.
Wow.
Switch
3 different answers. Oh, man.
Hey, you never know.
Look at the diversity here. Great job.
All right,
this
we
was
out.
Fun.
We out of here, guys.
Yo, thanks for having me, Carlos. This was fun. Appreciate it.
Good having you too. Love you guys.
Remember Joel used to do that?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I miss him kissing us.
Take both. Oh, my God. was fun though, man.